I'm ready. Ready as I'll ever be. Pull.
And 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we return once again here. Lovely Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. Bridgeport, Pennsylvania. Cold Pennsylvania. Cold. Chilly Billy, Pennsylvania.
About to be hunting season, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, more or less. With me today, number one as always, Mr. Randy Gouton. I'm your co-host, you're my co-host, whatever the shit that is.
It don't matter.
It don't matter anymore. And, of course, my good friend, my brother in arms, fellow guitar nut, great singer, great songwriter, one of my favorite jackasses in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Donnie Barney.
Oh, that's false, but I like Clint a lot.
Well,
Clint's all right.
I'm all right sometimes.
He is twice the musician I'll ever be, but he keeps
kiss my ass.
being real nice to me. Anyway.
I like the way you play. I like the way you play that there guitar, boy.
I keep admiring your guitar over there.
Yeah,
Good.
I managed to get enough of it in frame. Hey, gotta have the Don Rich in.
Oh yeah,
gotta have Don Rich in. Anyway, Donnie, I was thinking about when you and I didn't actually meet until we both worked with Hodge, whatever the hell that was, 2 summers ago. But we known of each other for years.
Yeah, I used to think you were a douche. Can we cuss on this?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm swearing.
Man.
Being myself. Cause I swear in real life. Yeah, I thought you were a douchebag with a sparkly jacket, but so who the hell's this guy?
Well, it turned out that I didn't wear sparkles because I thought I was cool. Yep. I wore sparkles because sparkles are fucking cool.
You're not a douche at all.
No, maybe.
Well, it turns out in this relationship, I'm the douche. It turns out that's kind of how that worked out.
Oh God!
But no, we didn't. Our friendship's still pretty new, probably 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's definitely 2.5 years. Summer of 2017.
Yep. That would certainly be it. Well, because the first time you and I actually hung out in person was at Andy Davis, Tim Litfin show, Dairy Ag Fair.
Oh yeah, I ended up buying a guitar off of you because of that. Yep.
By the way, I did find some string ferrules for that. If you can manage to get the ball end of that string out of that telly.
I have not touched it since last year, so it's sitting there collecting dust. But I'm going to use it. I actually just ordered a pickup for it.
Did you?
Yeah,
Finally.
just like last week, but I still have nothing to do with it. But I am going to make that a playable guitar. It's just I was waiting on money, and now I have money. Well, I don't have money, but.
Well, none of us have money, but we have money enough to buy a Lawler or a Duncan or something to throw in there.
Lindy Fralin.
Yeah, you can say
I bought a Lindy Fralin
man.
Yeah, I'm pretty loyal to just because I don't like to get into gear because it drives me fucking bananas because it takes up all your time.
Yeah,
I've been watching Joe Bonamassa. How the fuck do you say it? Joe Bonamassa videos like all morning today and seeing all the shit he does. I'm like, well, I'd really like to have one of those, but I got to stick to Blues Driver, Full Drive, and then I bought that Bad Cat pedal last year. I make about 3 purchases a year.
Yeah.
I just bought a little PA system for myself that I'm making payments on and a pickup for your guitar. So I'll be playing that sucker next year. Oh, and I am $700 deep on the Brad Paisley signature guitar.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So I'll end up having 3 nice guitars plus a crook that I have to get out of Charlie McVeigh's shop when I ever come up with $1,000.
Ah, yes.
That's the big one. That's
good old Charlie. Shout out to Charlie.
Yeah, this podcast, maybe we should say, is presented by McVeigh Benders. Maybe he'll give me a break.
Yeah.
I have to ask Santa Claus for that one. I haven't had the $1,000. I had the $1,000 for him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interesting story. He's had it's not even done. That's the best part about this. I keep buying myself time. I took my guitar to get the bender in November of last year. I said, take your time. I know there's a huge freaking list. I love Charlie. I think he's the nicest guy in the world.
But he absolutely is, man.
I genuinely love that guy. And I preface a lot of things I say on this podcast today by I like a lot of people, you included, most people that I really, really, really admire, because I think I'm misunderstood a lot of times. I think people think I'm fake, but I really genuinely do admire a lot of people way more than they like me. And Charlie's one of those people. I can tell, I just like that guy so much, and he just doesn't really care to like me that much. I think he likes me, but and I kiss his ass every time I'm around him, but I just genuinely like the guy. But anyway,
well, Charlie's got a lot of people. I mean, God bless that man, because he's got the full-time job, he's got the bender shop, and then he's still trying to go out and play pedal steel, and it's like that dude doesn't get a break. And
I don't know if he would want me telling, he got injured.
Oh yeah,
a while back too.
Yeah, that was a knee thing, right?
Yeah, his knees are bad. But so November I took him the guitar, and I had the $1,000, and I should have gave it to him then, just here. So this is done, because this is a fault that I have in life.
Yeah,
I have things, and then I just don't do things in the proper order. Then I went out and played Iowa. What's that?
I'm the same way.
See, I think it's a guy thing.
So great minds think alike, and apparently so do ours.
Yeah. Well, I went out and played, and then left that touring band I was in like shortly thereafter. I was already leaving before I took the guitar to get the bender. I didn't hear anything from Charlie until I texted him around the 4th of July this year. I said, hey, and I had the money then too. I said, hey, or I was pretty close. I think I had 700 out of the 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I said, any word on that bender? He called me. He said, oh, Donnie, I thought you said you were hard up for money, which he was wrong, but like he was right too. Like,
yeah. He knew. He knew.
Yeah, he like could sense. Like
Yeah.
his Santa Claus like sense was like, Donnie's probably broke. I'll just put him on the back burner. And I'm glad he did. Well, then I saw him at the Blame My Roots Fest I was stagehanding at, and I volunteered to be his like personal stagehand.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'll get that money to you, soon. Just take your time on it. And I haven't heard anything since. So I'm, I'm not worried about it. Like I wasn't going to play the thing out anyway. Just I wanted to have a crook with a bender. So, long story short, I'll end up having your guitar, which I love to play. I just didn't like the pickups, but
Yeah.
I played it a bunch last year.
Well, cheap pickups too, man.
I meant to tell you, yesterday I shared that memory from a year ago on Facebook of they put me in Pennsylvania Musician Magazine last year,
yeah.
which I didn't know anything there was such a thing, but that was your guitar in the
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that. But that was your
You played that blackguard with that road band you were on for
a
quite
very
a bit,
good bit.
quite
Yeah,
a bit.
yeah, and for whatever reason that picture just ended up in Pennsylvania Musician Magazine, which I didn't know there was such a thing.
Me either.
So pretty cool, I guess, to be in a magazine. Probably nobody read it.
Shout out to Pennsylvania Musician Magazine, apparently.
Put Clint in it. We need
Yeah.
to get Clint in the so we can all be in the club. I hate the fact that I'm the only one that I know that's been in that magazine.
I was on Cops once.
Is that right?
Yeah.
For real?
No.
I saw Cops in Pittsburgh one time. I
Yeah,
did.
That wasn't me.
Not in person, but I was watching Cops and saw him.
No, that wasn't me.
God.
Been arrested a few times. Twice in my life. We could tell that story probably with the second one later.
Oh yeah.
A lot of stories. This could be a 4-hour podcast.
Oh yeah, we can make really bad decisions with this one.
I
don't even know where to go, Donnie, because I'm so overwhelmed. I'm like, dude, we can talk gear for another hour. I mean, it's real easy.
It's French to me.
We'll clue you in.
I'm listening.
Yeah, we can clear. Well,
It's French to all of us, I think. We just think like we know. But like I've done some things like with gear that I totally regret too. Like I bought that Sparkle Drive pedal last year, and I thought, man, this is going to be exactly what I want it to be. Because I was going for like I think my favorite like overdriven clean sound. This is kind of sacrilege to say in front of Clint, but like Rob James from the Clarks, I think like
that's fine.
His Telecaster is like
that's fine, yeah.
And I thought maybe he was using a Sparkle Drive, but I wasn't sure. And I'm like, well, it might get me close.
Shout out to Gary Jacob, their steel player.
Oh yeah, he's the man too.
He's the man.
He's another one. I don't think he knows me when I see him. Like I always talk to him when I do see him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you play guitar, right?" But like I really like that guy a lot more than I think he even cares to know me. That's just kind of how my life's always been.
I'm that way with everybody.
Is that right?
I can tell you, man. If you were a steel player, they'd love you because for some reason Charlie and Jake both love me.
No, everybody loves you. You got the best of both worlds. Guitar players love you, and steel players love you.
Well, it's great because in any band, I don't have to compete with anyone. Because the steel player's like, oh yeah, he's another steel player, but he can play guitar too, and then vice versa for the guitar players.
And you double the amount you can work if you so choose.
Yeah,
which you just don't ever so choose. But.
Yeah, well, I can be everybody's buddy.
Well, I learned probably around the time we got to know each other. I was probably learning this all along, but like I've differentiated like you're 26 too, right?
I'm 27.
You're 26. So you're older than me, maybe half a year older than me. Of the guys from our age group, I just kind of let you just have that title because I knew I was never going to get that title of like the best player that all the players like. I told somebody yesterday. I met this girl yesterday. I'm about to start working with next year. She's like, "You're so freaking good." I'm like, well, I'm not really that great. I'm just kind of good enough to go out and work, like, and I'll do the shit that no one wants to do. Like,
hey, you're pretty good, buddy.
In Hinckley, Minnesota. So I've kind of just come to grips with the fact that like I'm better off doing the things I think. I could preface this by saying I might not know what the fuck I'm talking about, but this is how I feel. Just doing like the back end of the business stuff that I like see. I'm more interested in that anyway than being like the Brent Mason of the world. But like, and then in my spare time, I try to figure out how to play the guitar better. But I figured like, there's a guy my age named Clint that freaking plays twice as good as I'll ever play and like more instruments. And he's really on it. Like I can't get that on it. Like I wish I could, but I can't.
Oh, you definitely could, buddy. But you're doing well, as you alluded to. You're treating this as much music business or business music as you are music business, and that's the smart way to do it.
And I like that.
That's why you're one of the busiest guys around. You're one of the few guys that's busier than me, and you're playing with a wider variety of artists. You're getting every gig that you can possibly get, and you're doing it.
I can't believe I still get them. That's all been dumb luck too, because I've had a chance to fuck up a few of them, a lot of chances. But like and that makes me feel real good. But I kind of get off on the business side of things, which I know a lot of people don't like, because artisty people are artisty. I've never been like, I've I have what I like and listen to in my spare time, but I've always been able to differentiate, like, this is my job, and I have to sometimes kiss a little ass. And
you're way more the Rich Redmond type.
Yeah, and I don't like him. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if I'd get along with him as a friend, but I do love, like, that's my favorite band in country music. Kurt Allison, I like the way he arranges guitar parts on those records. And but no, I've and I can separate, like, at home in my spare time, I'm still listening to Keith Whitley or the shit I want to listen to. But I get that nobody wants to hear me or whoever I'm playing with go out and do a 3-hour night of Keith Whitley either.
Right. Well, and it's even, I even find it working in the studio with so many people is, I mean, a lot of my calls are for the traditional country thing because I'm the guy that mixes and plays that way.
Yeah.
But, like, anytime I'm in the studio with Andy Davis, it's, you got to have your mind as open as humanly possible, and got to remember every, like, I go back and start drawing shit out of my high school band days. Just to try to think on every possible level that he could think of, because he's just imagining shit.
What did you do in the high school band?
I played drums.
Is that right? I played in the jazz ensemble. I played guitar, which that was a really good, like, learning experience for me my senior year. Like, I got better. I don't care to admit it that much, but I got better playing in the jazz ensemble. I still can't play jazz, but I did play in their ensemble.
I just got into music, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, something like that.
What are you doing?
Playing bass.
Playing bass.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I did see that. I saw that on Facebook. I saw that.
Not so much playing. I'm making dogs howl.
I'm playing my first gig I don't own a bass. Never.
I just seen you had posted something about playing bass.
I think maybe one of the few times I ever played bass, like, in a live setting was just a couple weeks ago with Clint. Like, we switched off that, like, and it wasn't any good. Like,
Oh, you were fine.
I mean, I'm playing, like, lead bass, which I know a lot of musicians will frown upon, but I got called for a bass gig this weekend.
Well, honestly, in that situation, it worked really well because whenever we just have two guitars, bass, and drums, cover as much territory as you possibly can.
And I didn't give a fuck. Like, it's a private party. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just gonna go up here and dick around. That's what I'm doing Saturday. I'm going to Louisville, Kentucky to play bass with Jackson. And it's a wedding. Like, no one's gonna give a fuck. It's a 3-piece band. I'm gonna have fun. We practiced last night. I got, like, a bass in my hand. And, like, it's like, this is gonna be fun. I'm not gonna, like, really worry about being, like, Mr. Synced in, syncopated with a drummer guy.
Your super pocket.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, I very seldom get in the pocket, regardless of what I'm playing. Like, the pocket's like a mythical thing for me. I've felt it a few times, but, like, I don't know. I don't get in it often.
Well, that's the one way that you and I differentiate, because that's all I give a shit about is pocket.
See, I think the problem, it might be the same way for you. I think I do too many fucking things to where, like, I'm always kind of on edge. Like, I feel like I'm just kind of floating above everything.
Yeah.
And then and a lot of times, like, let's just get this over with as soon as possible, and then I want to get out of here. Sometimes I feel that way, which maybe probably mentally doesn't let me get into the pocket. But I felt it a few times.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I don't have a lot of nice things to say about that group I was with last year, but I will say having a drummer like Steve Moore that has done the same freaking show for 25 years and plays to a click really well, felt good a lot of times. Like, just him personally, like, he felt really good to play with. Like, I wish he would do more shit too. He's trapped forever. I don't want to talk about that. But.
Well, what I was going to mention in the same vein is me originally playing bass with Brandon Barnhart for years and years and years. And when you play with a drummer of that caliber,
he's like Mr. Metronome.
Yeah, it brings you in. Whenever it sounds that good and does everything, man, it's just.
I was going to say him. I feel I can. I'm good with him.
Yeah.
From what I.
Well, Brandon makes people around him better.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm being with him or he's being with me. He's probably picking up some slack.
He's probably dragging you. He's probably picking up by the collar and telling you, let's go.
Which makes sense. You're 3 weeks in. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Picking up a little extra audio out there from the...
Grant's out of here.
Grant's gone. He's gone.
Grant was on the podcast last night, and he was here hanging around. I was like, hey, is Grant going to be here? I have the other mic. And he's just... As soon as he showed up, it's like he disappeared like he was a gnome or something.
Most people do that when I show up.
He's an underpants now.
I feel comfortable playing with Brandon.
I do too, but I can't really say anything about that. I've been doing that for 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah, you probably are way.
I think it's because I'm used to him. I know.
Yeah,
I've been around enough.
See, what's going on. I like Brandon. Like, he's a country drummer, but for me, my personal preference has always been like rock. I love rock guys playing country. That's just.
I say it's a weird thing because that's kind of what I consider Brandon to be, because he plays more Bonhamish than a lot of other guys. But then again, that's also in your own perception.
Yeah, it's all subjective, I suppose.
Yeah.
But like, there's guys like my favorite drummer around here is Jeremy McCoy, and I don't get to play with him much, but I love Jeremy McCoy. I think he's fantastic. He's another one. A lot of people, we can go on to this topic. Like,
oh yeah, we can just talk about guys we play with.
Stuck in their like world. Like Jeremy's played with Birmingham since he was like 14, and like you try to get him to do something else. Like I have really good opportunities. I've tried to get the guy, and like, but I don't know, doing this Birmingham thing. Well, sorry, I'd love to help. Like I do that to a lot of people. I've been trying to steal you for 2 years.
Oh, well,
everything I do, I want you to do it with me.
Well, yeah. Well, you and I have always had that connection ever since we started playing together.
I will eventually. I'd steal AJ too if I could.
Yeah. Well, it'd be good to steal everybody and just put together the super band. And
my problem is I have way too many ideas all the time.
You're eclectic.
And I keep meeting new people with new ideas. Like I'm going to be working with this Amy Jane girl next year, and it's like, wow, whole bunch of new ideas there. Let me tell you. I don't want to tell you, but like a lot of good ideas.
Well, yeah, you don't leak anything, but I can understand.
Yeah.
My problem is I have no idea.
Is that right? Well,
pretty much.
That's probably my problem internally, but I just don't show it. I don't sell it to the world. I'm going to say that 14 times during this podcast. I might not know what the fuck I'm talking about because I like to think, like I wake up in the morning, I get pissed off, like I see something that one of my contemporaries is doing, and I'm like, they should do this. And then you tell them, do you watch South Park?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I feel like most every day of my life, I feel like Al Gore trying to get over the fact that Man Bear Pig's out there, but no one will take him cereal. I'm like, just take me fucking cereal just once. Like, if you listen to me, like, you might, like, I'm not saying anything to be a malicious dick because I want everybody to succeed because I want my money to go up too. Like, people think I'm being a dick. I'm like, you should try this. And they're like, nah,
if you see Man Bear Pig, call me, Al Gore. And if you need a guitar player, call me, Donnie, Barney.
And I'll be damned if Man Bear Pig wasn't real. See? You know what I mean? But, like, I say that I could nitpick about everybody that I have played with or see that playing around. I'm like, this is why they're not drawing this kind of crowd they should be. Mm-hmm. Like, no one will take me cereal. If they just take me cereal, man, I'd fucking...
That is maddening.
Well, it makes me mad. And I don't even have a dog in the hunt half the time. It's just, I have this overall thing, like, we're going to go on and on about this probably today, too. Like, I want the people that I want to do good to do really, really good. And then I want the rest of the, like, musicians around here to go the fuck away. Like, weekend warriors, like... If you're a weekend warrior, like just putting on your khaki shorts and going out there to play to get away from your wife for $100, then you're bringing my money down and you don't need to play at all. Mm-hmm. Like, don't book those people if you're listening to this show. Well,
and it's a lot of it's this area too. It's not the area has created that, and the people in the area have created that. It's one of those what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, and they like, what's the word?
It perpetuates.
It perpetuated. And it drives me nuts every day. First of all, there's way too many musicians, and half of them are better than I am, but they just like, it's very simple to put on a pair of tight jeans and a pair of cowboy boots and a vintage tee and a trucker cap like the Cadillac 3 had, and that's stage gear. But if you're wearing your khaki shorts and your flip-flops, you shouldn't get paid, and you shouldn't be working.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my thing is, I want the people that I think deserve to work, that like I call them lifers, like people that are like really trying to. We could bring everybody's money up if we just all listen to each other and also get rid of like the scrubs. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm genuinely interested in seeing everybody do well. Like I want you guys to do. I've been trying to book you guys out like to casinos for a month now. I'm not having a lot of success, but like you guys deserve to work. You look like entertainers up there, which isn't hard to do. You can wear what you're wearing now, but at least you have jeans and boots on. Mm-hmm. Like these people that go out and play Rodney in their khaki shorts and their flip-flops just for $100 too. Here's the thing. I don't like to, we probably shouldn't divulge how much money we make, but like $100 isn't really enough to do anything with a night. 200 is kind of the standard fare, and that's even low a little bit. I think like Donnie Barney Acoustics sometimes gets 300. Yeah. Most of the time, I try to get 300.
Well, and it's way easier to feed your own mouth when it's just you two on these acoustic jobs.
But I think that should multiply with per band member. I really do. Like, if you want a kick-ass band, like you're gonna have to pay for a kick-ass band because I know they're making money. I found this out over the years, and you might have found this out too. Mm-hmm. Like, I finally asked somebody, a club owner, I'm like, "How much did you make tonight?" And they're like, "Freaking $2,200." I'm like, "Oh, shit." Well. Could have paid a little more than probably. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, a lot of it depends on the bar because there's some that I play, which I won't name, that I've seen them take in over $10,000 in one night, and then the owner will be like, "All right, what do you want?"
See, that's
like that. That's the way it should be done. And when you're working with people like that, and then you negotiate, that's awesome. But other people be like, "We put you for $400 or $500. That's what you're getting." But then there's also these places that are, they gotta they're taking in $2,000 before expenses, and it's like and that's on a shitty night too. So it's like you got to choosing the venues are extremely key, and that's why I say the whole chicken or the egg thing. That's why there's a lot of $100 weekend warriors, because they just want to go to their local bar where they don't have to drive far from home, and a couple of their buddies are going to be there, and they get their $100, get away from their wife, and it doesn't piss off the bar owner whenever they ask for $400 or $500.
Right, and then they get to act like rock stars for the night, but like they don't really make an effort. That just bothers me. But they bring everything down. It's I'm not a Hillary Clinton fan, but one thing she said something about trickle down economics. Trickle down economics really kind of, from my understanding of it, which I might be wrong, but like it all does kind of trickle down here, like, and then or maybe trickle up. But like the guys go out and suck in their regular clothes hurts me. A guy who really tries. Like,
yeah. The lowest common denominator is definitely a factor in all this.
And then I quit giving a fuck after a while. I'm like, well,
fuck it. You can't change it.
You can change it.
Mm-hmm.
I spend a lot of my time. I probably will end up killing my own career around here.
You mean both?
But I would love to be a martyr for everybody else in some way. Like
I'll remember you. I will sing your song, Donnie.
Just get like a picture of me up on the wall.
The Ballad of Donnie Barney. Yeah, right next to the clock that's always 10 till 5.
10 till 5.
Is it really? That clock's not right?
Oh, yeah, man.
I thought it was right this whole time.
I'll do that. That's become an outright meme in the band.
Yeah.
We were here filming our press kit right where we're sitting. It's where all those videos came from. Oh, yeah. And
that Drop Time Taxidermy.
Yeah, that Drop Time Taxidermy. Thank you, Randy. And that clock was on that wall over there. And Skip, our bass player, kept wanting to get out of here. He goes, look, it's 10 till 5, like 30 times. And it was funny, and it kept being funny. And then it just so happened one of the songs we did for the demo was Brand New Man. And instead of I Saw the Light, I've been baptized, it's 10 till 5, I want french fries. And so it's just 10 till 5 has been everywhere in my life for the better part of a year now.
I didn't know you guys did that here, but those sounded really good. Those were last year around like wintertime?
Yeah, that was in January.
Yeah,
that was in January.
Really good.
Yeah, we did it coming right out of here, and that's why this carpet's still here, because I set it down for that and then never took it back.
And I ruined it.
You did all right. It's fine.
How did you end up letting Clint use your taxidermy studio as his podcast studio?
He gave me $12.
Is that right? Case of beer?
Yeah.
Case of Bud Light aluminum bottles?
That's it.
I gave him a couple of Hershey's Kisses and some lollipops and promised him I'd give him some cookies and orange juice later, and here we are.
He wasn't supposed to tell that story.
I'm a bad friend sometimes.
We had a deal.
I know.
Was there a period of time, like several years back, you had like one of those little yard signs for your taxidermy business in every fucking place in the United States? I saw them.
Mm-hmm. In the United States?
Literally, it's like everywhere you go, it'd be like Drop Time Taxidermy. It'd be like, you'd be in Ada, and you'd see like a yard sign.
Down Washington County.
Yeah, you were everywhere.
Yeah,
there was a time you couldn't go anywhere without seeing your shit. I've not successfully killed anything to bring to you.
You never hit something with your truck?
Yeah, well, something hit me, but it was a doe, and it's dead, and I didn't care.
No.
Yeah, we got to get Randy's business back up on the Ixnay because, well, Randy, as we discussed last night, I'm just telling you, Donnie, so you know what happened. Randy had a house fire. That foundation over there was where Randy's house previously was, and so he lost a bunch of shit, and that put the business on hold for whatever it was, like
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. 6 years. So he went from being doing $130 deer a year to get nothing, so now it's just trying to rebuild again.
Yeah, we're going to rebuild it.
Yeah, plus last year I wrecked my bike. Had to have surgery. I didn't take anything in last year.
Yeah.
So,
whoa,
Jesus.
Holy Hornet.
Where?
Right on the...
And Randy's phone's ringing.
Is your phone ringing?
Did someone get a buck? It's still archery season,
now
right?
It's coming straight for me.
Smash it.
I'm going to try.
Use your little spitter lid.
Hang on. I'm not using the spitter lid. I'm going to use my hat. Now he's on the headphones. He wants to listen in.
Maybe he has something to say.
Maybe.
Ow!
Well, let's get him mounted.
$75 bucks.
That's a bad angle to try to move your foot out of a lawn chair.
$75. I'll put him on a plaque.
Well, if I end up being a martyr for this local music scene, would you mount me? Like,
we had a discussion about mounting people last night.
I've mounted quite a few young ladies.
I went home with a fat girl once a bunch of times.
Yeah, I've had sex with 31 girls in my life, I think, and most of them were large. I think that's my number. I can't really remember.
You like them like you like your fries.
Well, I tell people if we're going to talk about our sex lives, I typically have sex with whoever likes to have sex with me. That's kind of like it's kind of my agenda when it comes to that. I don't typically
Consent tends to be a good thing. Donnie.
if they consent to have sex with me, then I'm all for it. I don't care what you look like. I'm flattered that you asked. So that's all my sexual conquests have been because I'm just astounded that somebody asked.
I usually have to drug them.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah. First of all, you meant drug him up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
I've had to do that a time or two as well, but there's always been consensual drugging. I've been drugged.
Like
Jack Daniels drugged.
Oh, okay.
I think I might have actually been.
Been roofied.
More than like 5 times, but that's always just a common excuse too. But
was it in West Virginia?
I've been drunk there a lot, yeah. But like, I've also taken drugs voluntarily too. I've never been on drugs, but I've taken quite a few drugs. I always like to differentiate that when we talk about like drugs and stuff. Like, I hear Joe Rogan and those guys talk about just recreationally using drugs, but like,
DMT.
I've tried a lot of drugs, but I've never been on drugs. I could do a lot of drugs and then like not do drugs the next day, which I'm knock on wood.
Yeah.
I think my drug days are over. That was 19, 20 years old.
I'm ready to start mine.
Let's go. I might. I mean, if you want to do them,
Have you ever tried DMT?
I don't even know how to spell it. What is it?
I would like to try it.
Well,
it's a hallucinogen, right?
Yeah. Dimethyltryptamine is it's a natural chemical that's actually found in the body. It's found in all living things, and when it gets released properly, or you take the receptors down, it's like looking in a kaleidoscope of color, and there's visions. It's kind of like you have to Google DMT trip.
I don't need no more visions in my head.
See, I kind of want to see what it's like, but I'm afraid it'll mess me up permanently.
I don't have no desire.
That's why I never did like mushrooms and stuff. I'm afraid
I put mushrooms on my pizza.
I'm scared.
I love mushrooms on pizza.
It could change you permanently.
Because I met some people that have been changed permanently from it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to. Not that I like myself the way I am, but I just probably wouldn't really like myself at that point.
I've never been into drugs. No desire.
I tried them all. They're really, really. Drugs are really fun. Like they are. They're fun as shit. You can't you can't do them all the time. There's this shirt. I just found this shirt the other day. It says "Say maybe to drugs." I'm gonna buy it.
Say maybe.
Say maybe to drugs.
Oh, what was that? What was that shirt that AJ was all hopped up about the other day? Saw somebody at the Wiki Googling, and on the back of the shirt it said, "Only you can prevent bad music."
Yeah.
And then it was like for some metal band or something.
Well, that's pretty interesting. I'd probably wear that sucker too.
Yeah. I can't remember which metal band it was though. It was kind of a generic. It was not Five Finger Death Punch, but it was something kind of in the mainstream as far as that.
You don't get into the metal thing much, do you?
I play metal. It's like my experience with metal is like listening to the soundtrack from Doom.
I don't know what that is, but
it's a video. It's basically it's a video game, but it was basically very Metallica influenced, and I don't know, man. I like, I guess you would call it melodic metal.
See, I listen to nothing but rock radio. So like I have not listened to country radio in a long time, but I put on rock radio, and I have some cool shit on there. Like it catches my attention. Like I like it. It's good stuff. I was listening to Stain this morning. I'm really into Stain.
Yeah, that's great. Let's say Aaron's coming to the Palace here soon.
Yeah, November
6th. November 6th. I got to call my buddy plays steel for him now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my buddy Tyler Hall.
So the guy that we used to play steel for him's not there anymore?
Ben's still there. He's playing just dobro and guitar with him.
Wow, expanding. I wonder if he's getting paid. To have just a dobro guy.
Well, and he brought Tyler in. Well, Tyler used to play for Tyler played for Singletary until Singletary passed away.
Okay.
And then before that, he played for Joe Nichols and Ray Scott. And Tyler's a freaking excellent steel player. He's one of my favorites. And he still does it old school now. I mean, he played a Mullen for years, but now he's back to playing an Emmons, and he brings 2 old twins and just plugs it into the twins.
Damn.
Like he's doing it old school, man. So I just I like Aaron Lewis, but I want to go play that rig. I don't give a shit about seeing Aaron.
Aaron's doing stage shows now too. Again,
are they getting ready to do that again?
They just did one because I was watching YouTube this morning. It was like a couple weeks ago. They were in like Foxwood, Massachusetts or something doing a stage show. I'm like, that's pretty neat. People wondered when they were going to do that. Anyway,
I like Stained.
Yeah, I do too.
And I like Aaron's stuff too.
Some things of Aaron's I've found. Maybe he tries a little too hard. Like the lyrics are like, I don't know. Some of it sounds a little cheeseball.
Now, on which side? Because there's like You could say Granddaddy's Gun is cheeseball, or you could say that like Endless Summer is really cheeseball, or you could even say just That Ain't Country is cheeseball.
That one, because that was a blatant ripoff. Like there is one, If That Ain't Country, and his was That Ain't Country. Mm-hmm. It just seemed like he was trying to rip that off, like a cheap ripoff of a Dave Allan Coe hit. Like it was cool the first time when Dave Allan Coe did it. No one can replicate that.
I can't chime in because I don't know nothing about this.
You don't know Aaron Lewis from Stained?
I've heard.
You kind of look like him.
That poor guy.
Sorry. You have tattoos?
Randy needs more neck tattoo.
Yeah, you get the flames or whatever going up your neck.
Yeah, he's got like the Second Amendment across his neck.
That's
like that or something.
Amendment.
Yeah.
I pled the Second Amendment a few times.
Yeah. Drank the fifth. Pled the second. Yeah, man, but Aaron's pretty badass. I like listening to his records because it's like all Eddie Bears and Paul Franklin and Brent Mason.
And really good, really good stuff. Even that song Country Boy is kind of cheesy, but like Brent Mason did some stuff that didn't even sound like Brent Mason. That was kind of neat. Really buried, but it was in there. It was him.
That record, I tore that apart because me and Andy did a cover of that about 5 years ago. And so I had to try to tear apart some of that guitar stuff. And it's like all pentatonic and way more rock infused than what you're used to from Mason, but it's still Mason because of how well it sits and how, like, he's good at being able to play a million notes a minute, but most of the time he doesn't do that. Most of the time he serves so very well, and it was a very good example of Mason layering shit and just serving the song. And in addition, that groove is weird too.
Yeah. It drop C or drop D flat.
Yeah, I guess because they tune down half a step and then drop.
Those always sit kind of funny. I like the way they sit, but they do. I mean, it's just very ambient.
Yeah, well, tuning down. I mean, obviously we got the poster boy for tuning down right there, but because as Buck Owens and the Buckaroos were the first ones to do it, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I always forget about that. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, like Act Naturally is tuned down a whole step. The studio recording.
I love that song.
Is that how they?
That's how it's da-da-da-down.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never really analyzed it, but I guess that is why that.
Yep. Yeah, because it's in G, but you play it in an A formation.
I'm glad I know. I've been playing it acoustic by myself, but I don't do the.
Yeah.
Which you could, I guess, if you just drop D.
Yep.
Anyway.
It does make it goofy having to do the da-da-da-da part if you got to go into G, but you have the drop in there.
I'm still trying to learn all that.
Once you get it, though, it'll be like you never forget it.
Yeah. Let's say Randy's made progress now. Now, finally, after I've been telling him forever, like, dude, eventually your hand's going to loosen up. And, like, I think you and I would take it for granted because it's like we've been able to send messages from our brain to our hands pretty easily, and our hands do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
But, like, Randy's just been trying to get his hands to do the walk, and he has to sit there with all his concentration in order to get his fingers to do exactly what they need to do. And now finally he's got enough muscle memory built that now he can start thinking about what he's playing instead of the physical action of playing.
We do take it for granted. And it wasn't all that long ago I was feeling the same way. Like I can remember. Like it's not like I'm 26 and I started playing when I was 12 or 13. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't all that long ago. I can remember when I like didn't know what the fuck was going on. And I just started I'll tell everybody out there in podcast land, I suck at giving lessons. Like I can't teach anybody because I taught myself, which for better or for worse is just what I did.
Yeah.
So every couple of years when I get like down on my money, like I was like, well, I'll start giving lessons. That'll give me some money. This winter was looking like one of those winters. Ended up, thankfully, I'm all booked up now. But I put out there I'd give some lessons. So a friend of mine's dad is 54 now, I think. Said he wanted lessons, which is tough to teach like that guy. Like I don't know how old you are. I'm not saying you can't learn.
I'm 31.
31. I think you probably have a better shot.
49.
Yeah, see, you're close. But like for me, it's like I gave him his first lesson last Thursday, and I realized like, fuck, I do take this for granted. Like,
yeah,
just making a G chord. I'm trying to teach him a G chord. I'm like, you just go like that and make a G chord. And he's like, his thumb was pointing inward. I'm like, no, you gotta like grip it with your thumb and don't push too tight. Like, and then I grab it. I'm just like, it's kind of second nature just to hold the thing. So we do take it for granted, and I suck at giving lessons.
Poor Clint.
I was saying because Randy and I started with me trying to teach him guitar, and I'm like, dude, your fingers are not loose enough for this, and you can keep trying to beat those into your head, but you're just gonna keep struggling because you can't make any noises that you like to hear, so you're gonna lose motivation.
Right. Which was the case probably when we were young too, but like as I kept trudging along. I don't know.
Well, at least at that point, our bodies were limber enough that you could get the muscle memory developed much quicker.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of like, all right, Randy, let's try bass. Simpler, single note at a time. it'll give you, as long as like you write songs out. If you're just playing root notes, you can start to play songs relatively quickly.
Did you do guitar or bass first?
Guitar.
Okay. Bass probably came shortly after that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there was ever a time when I said I know how to play bass, but it was just kind of always knew how to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Well, a part of that's because of learning to play off of Johnny Cash records. Because that's just bass line with the added extra bum tuck dunk tuck dunk.
That's a good lesson. I mean, teaching him that, like, listen to Johnny Cash stuff. That's probably a good teacher.
I could play one of his songs.
Yep.
So I gotta interrupt this podcast here.
To bring you a special announcement.
This podcast, it's brought to you by Bang Energy Drink. So I've been like on this like health kick, and Bang has creatine in it, which you piss all your weight out. I'm gonna take another piss. You two talk amongst yourselves, because I literally drank 2 Bangs today. Do you drink Bangs? Have you drank a Bang?
No, I haven't.
It makes you piss more than beer. Like, and I'm sitting here having to piss, but like this ought to be the last one because I usually time it out pretty good. Creatine, I'm told, makes you like piss out water weight. So I drink like 2 a day. Like, so this Donnie Barney is brought to you by Bang. Because I've been trying to get like healthier too. Like,
Bang.
I want to look appealing. Because I realized I started looking like a fat piece of shit like on stage. And
I resemble that remark.
People were taking pictures of me. I'm like, man, I look horrible. Because I used to look pretty, like when I was 19, I'm like hot, getting laid all the time. Now I'm 26 and not getting laid, receding hairline, looking rough. Aging. So I'm like, I just should probably lose weight.
So now you start Donnie, you look like you do what you do now.
Welcome to my world.
Wait, what?
You look like you do what you do. You look like you're a musician who's overworked and underpaid.
Yeah, and parties. But like when I was 19, I was partying and doing the same thing, but I looked good. I had like more hair up the front. I could not have to wear a hat. And I was really skinny. And I was like, man, it's funny when you're different, like because you've probably been the same size your whole life.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad's the same way. But I've noticed like different looks weight-wise, and now I'm growing my hair out because I've never experienced this. Different kinds of chicks will give you their bodies if you like. Like when I was skinny and had short hair, like I got like a whole different demographic of chick. Then I gained some weight, and the chick demographic changed. And I couldn't get the ones I had before, but I got new ones. Then I've always had shorter hair, and always usually wear a hat now. But I'm growing it out the back. I'm growing a curly mullet, and I've found that like there's chicks that are like, "Oh my god, your hair's so cool." I just don't take my hat off until we're having sex, and then surprise them with that in your middle of the throes of passion.
I got to get mine off Greg's list.
What is it?
I got to get my chicks off Greg's list.
Greg's list?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's on the interweb.
Dark web?
Yeah.
So anyway, y'all talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm going to take a piss.
All right,
we're going to resume this podcast.
Go take a leak, buddy. We can keep rolling.
I know you two can.
Oh yeah, we'll be fine. All right, Randy. Now we're stuck in the mud.
Kind of French to me. I'm taking it all in.
Yeah.
Taking it all in.
Let's say Greg's list. Well, what's the best thing that you ever bought on Greg's list?
I never bought anything on Greg's list.
Really? You've never bought anything on Craigslist?
No.
I sold audio equipment and shit on there, man.
No, I bought stuff off Amazon.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I've actually bought, because I've sold stuff. I don't know if I ever bought anything. No, I don't think I ever have bought anything. I've sold speakers and shit.
No, I never did.
But I've never actually drove somewhere, been like, hey, can I have that guitar? I'll give you $100. Then I give them $100 and I get a guitar. I've never done that.
There's good deals on there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, there are good deals on that. Well, especially when you get people who just want to get rid of shit. Then it's like, here's a Fender Twin Reverb. Give me like $100.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Sold.
It's pretty awesome whenever you get good deals on Craigslist. Actually, Donnie, this will be a good question for you. We're still talking about Craigslist. Because
Greg?
It doesn't matter. Because
different.
Yeah. Well, Craig, they're two sides of the same dude.
They're cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins. With a T, cousins.
It's cousins.
Yeah.
That's a very blue-skin thing to say.
I realize that I've sold a bunch of stuff on Craigslist, but I've actually never bought anything on there.
I've never sold or bought.
Really?
I don't think I might have looked at guitars on there. I don't think I've ever. My red Telecaster came from eBay. That's probably the only thing I ever bought on eBay.
Really?
My dad bought it.
I bought everything on eBay, man.
Really? I
even buy the shit that I get from Sweetwater on eBay, so they don't fucking call me.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, dude, because it's like, hey, this is Jimmy from Sweetwater. Just wanted to talk to you. Like, shut the fuck up.
See, I don't buy enough stuff. That's the problem. Like I just, a couple times a year, maybe. I just, and I sometimes regret that. Like I just bought something off of Zounds, and they email me every day, and I like to keep my emails open in case there's something important, like a potential gig. So
and you're just filled up with spam.
Filled up with spam.
I hate it.
I can tell you that's what's happening right now. Like I'm waiting for a couple emails to come back, but they'll probably get lost, and that bothers me. But no, I don't buy enough stuff to like even care about Craigslist or eBay, I suppose. But I will say that parts caster, that red one of mine, it came off of eBay, and it served me well.
Speaking of, we finally figured out what that guitar was, right?
Yeah, which I'm embarrassed that I never would have guessed that at all. Like, I don't know how I'm this dumb, because anybody who's been playing guitar as long as I have should know, like, oh, they took a neck off an Esquire and put it on some like Mexican red body.
Yeah.
In my mind, I don't know why this was like, there was like a restrictor plate like on a race car in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is some rare Esquire, like some red Esquire. They didn't even make this color. Then I'm like, Clint was right. It's a parts caster. I don't know how all these years I was like trying to get to the bottom of what it is. It's just a neck on another body. That's all.
Dude, because I was, it made me think, because from the first time we met each other, and well, even just for Facebook friends for forever, saw all the pictures of it. I'm like, I wonder what that guitar is. And then when you and I finally got to being good friends and hanging out in person,
you knew it right away.
Well, I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that's an Esquire neck. And then I look at it, I was like, that's a 50s classic Esquire neck, because I own one.
Right,
and it just
right.
happens to be the same year as well. And I'm like, then I look at that body, and it's like, well, that's an aftermarket pick guard, and that bridge plate ain't stock.
I knew that. Well,
anything.
I put that pick guard on there.
Yeah, well,
I was trying to be Junior Guthrie when I was little.
Fair enough.
It's
fair
stuck.
enough. And we just kept looking at it. I'm like, dude, this has to be a parts guitar. There's no.
I don't know why. I read about parts casters every day. I know, like, I know they exist. I know people do it all the time. Why I never just thought I owned one all these years? Like, it took me till like last year to figure it out. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that is. Because I was like asking my dad if he could, like, if he had like the old like, communication logs between him and this dude from Indiana State, like that he bought this guitar. He's like, no, I don't. I'm like, I really want to know the story behind this guitar, and I still do want to know the story behind it anyway.
Yeah,
like. I'll never get it, but like it was from some guy in Indiana that didn't, play it much. It was still like the body was all that paint chipping and shit. That's my sweat and that's all. It was brand new essentially, like the body and the paint and everything.
Yeah, because you're the only guy with sweat worse than mine.
Mine's toxic. I tell people all the time, like I just got that new bridge last year. It's already rusty, and I wiped the son of a bitch off.
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do. I was looking at my capo yesterday. It's like the steel parts on it's rusty. There's nothing you can do about it. Like I've learned to live with it. I'll never have like a nice like clear bridge like that. Like I wish I could, but all my life my dad's clothes are like he has like bleach in his skin, and I guess I inherited it. But like his collars are like bleached because I don't know, we're from hell or something. I don't know.
Barney's from
hell.
over a year now. I never played 3 chords on it.
What on that Telecaster?
Yeah.
Well, you've been playing bass.
Yeah.
He's got another one I built, double bound.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring it out here before too long. It looks like it's a 3-tone sunburst. It looks like all the other ones that
have I seen it? I might have seen it.
Actually, I think you might have. I think you might have seen that guitar because it looks exactly like the one I'm playing now that you played the other week.
Yeah.
Just double bound.
I like that neck on that one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I love the one you built that I bought.
Yeah.
Everything about it. I love this, the Polowania wood, and I think that's a really big secret that people are starting to figure out, that Polowania wood makes for a better guitar. I don't like the pickups, and then the ferrule fell off of the thing. But that's.
I wish I would have remembered. I would have brought a packet of them for you today.
It's gonna. I've been saying this for a year now, but it's finally I'm starting to put it in motion. Like I'm gonna have that. I want that to be my main guitar.
Oh, so that reminds me. Also, when we put those ferrules in there, we need to, like, if you're doing it yourself, if I just give you the ferrules, like, get like fingernail glue or something and put a little dab on the side of that ferrule and then press it in there.
Well, I'm gonna have Jim Relja do it because I think he'll probably have a way to get that string out of there too.
Oh yeah,
because I know if I get in there, I'll fuck it up.
Yeah. I say, Donnie, as soon as you told me you did that, I was like, oh no.
I didn't even. Here's the thing about it. Here's how that happened. I was using it without a ferrule, not knowing. Like, I never look back there. You don't think it's like off. I didn't know it was even called a ferrule till you told me. But like,
yeah.
I just, that was how long I use elixir, so I didn't have to change strings. I didn't play it all that much. I'd use it for, like, say we were doing a 5 days at Knoebels, which you've done Knoebels.
Yes, I have.
You do 3 shows a day. Sometimes, like in the daytime, just to like let my red one like keep the strings not from being all sweaty.
Yeah.
I'd play yours, and I'm like, this daytime show sounds pretty good. Just wish it had like hotter pickups or like it was rockier. And then I eventually went to change the strings like last year, and I like snipped them all off. Standard procedure, right?
Right. And
that one's stuck in there. So son of a bitch, what happened? Oh no! And that's how I learned. And that's been sitting dormant.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, it's not going to be too hard to get that out of there. Because when you think about it, you got a bridge plate sitting on top of the body, and there's the 6 holes for the strings to come through there. That ferrule is going to sit in that slot where it does, no matter what happens. So it means that even if that ball end is caught in there, you can You never want to clip it off at the source and then push it down. Or if you actually had to just take a small size drill bit and drill that out, it's not going to hurt the functionality of the guitar at all.
No, I figured that. I figured there's probably some kind of tool that could.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass to get out, but it's.
I wish it would have just fell out. I didn't even know all that tension was just pulling it up in.
Yeah.
The whole time. But I was playing it like that. It didn't hurt the functionality of it. Like, it's generally stayed in tune. I'm going to get different tuners on it, but it's generally.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Did I put Wilkinsons on there?
I don't know.
I think I do. I've never had a problem with them. I've started having problems with them recently, and it's because I've had a number of new necks and new nuts. And I it's like, one of those situations where you turn the tuner and it doesn't go up, and then you turn a little bit more, and then finally it jumps. And I'm like, oh, why the hell? And then same way trying to detune. It's a nut issue. That's
really?
That's the nut slot not being carved open enough and not being lubed properly. Now you can fix that every time you change your strings. Just go and get a mechanical pencil and get a little bit of graphite out of there. Just run it in the string slot, and then it'll be perfect. Because I thought, I was like, dude, Wilkinson is just screwing up with the way they're making tuners. They're making trash now. It's like, nah, dude, it's something else.
I'm glad you figured that out, because I still probably get new tuners on it anyway, just because.
Yeah. You can if you want to, but I can tell you that as far as vintage tuners go, I don't think there's any difference between, like, you can get Grovers or Klussons on there, but I don't think there's any difference in quality to Wilkinson. The build might be a little bit more solid on those higher end tuners, but the tuning action of it is.
I want to sink some money into it, because I do want that to be my main thing. I told somebody not long ago, like, I think I was telling Daniel Downey, like, I might change the whole thing as long as the body's there. That's why I bought it in the first place, because you cut me a pretty good deal on that. But like I said, I want that body like the way it is, because I've never felt one so. Not just I don't care about the lightness of it. I'll play a heavy guitar all day, but like
it's actually pretty comfortable too.
It's very comfortable, and there's something about that wood. I've talked to people about this, because like I don't know what the fuck when it comes to this stuff. Like, you're the expert, and I'm just like I know what I like, and that's what I like.
Well, it's I speak Donnie guitar terms, so we.
You can probably understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not sure, but I know, like, I hate the way those Brad Paisley signature Telecasters look, but it feels nice. It sounds, you can hear there's something tangible and like audible about the Paul Owenia thing, and then it's in yours too. It's I don't know, maybe the word isn't resonant, but it's very resonant.
That's actually the word I was gonna go for, because it's lightweight, but that wood is ironic. I've been using Paulonia wood in guitars for.
Is that how you say Paulonia?
I'm actually not sure.
I say Paul Owenia.
Yeah.
I think that sounds sophisticated.
Yeah, you can do it that way.
Bill Crook might have said it that way, because my Crook's Paul Owenia too.
Okay, fair enough. And Bill probably knows best.
He might not know either. Maybe none of us know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, maybe all of us is just read it and
we're all a bunch of jabronis, and we just talk like we know what's going on. We don't know.
Exactly. But I've been using that body wood for. No, it hasn't been that long. I was going to say 13 years. It's not been that long. About 10 years. About 10 years in different guitars that I've built. And
so you're like one of the first ones on the train.
Actually, that body is also Paulonia.
How did you? All right, let me ask you a question. How did you come about it? Where did you?
Guitar Fetish. GFS was making bodies out of it. What do I want to say? Advertised as super lightweight. And I was like, well, they're $50. I'll give it a shot. That's really cheap. So I bought one. I'm like, wow, it's like you could feel the poly on the outside is hard, but you could tell it was almost like balsa wood on the inside. I'm like, oh man, this is kind of weird. And then I kept modding this guitar that I built out of it, and it was like the screw holes never got stripped out, and I didn't have any problems with it. It was always really light and resonant, and I'm like, oh shit, if it keeps doing its job, even if it's a soft wood, the screw holes never get stripped out, and it's resonant, it's like, this is a wonder wood. So I've been kind of on that bandwagon ever since.
I wonder if that's how Brad Paisley and Bill Crook came about it too. Cause
I'm not sure, because it was like the first guys that I heard that offered that was that company.
Yeah, that's weird to me, but it is taking over now. Like, a lot of people are starting to catch on. Like, I tell people all the time. Like,
yeah, exactly. I actually want to pull that thing down off the wall. There's a lot of lacquer on that guitar, but yeah, it's actually still pretty light.
Oh yeah, it is.
If we're having a whole lot of lacquer on there. Brand new strings, too.
You can hear it through the headphones. Like, that's how.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Did you do that, or did it happen naturally?
Do what?
Like the.
Oh, that cracking?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's all natural. That's
Oh,
all. Yeah.
It's a good look.
Yeah. Somehow it just that lacquer wound up doing that, and I was cool with it.
What are you calling them? Herb Customs? Like,
Yeah, that one actually, since that one's supposed to be a replica of Don Rich's, that just got the Fender Transition logo on it. But
I'm sorry, I don't want to embarrass myself anymore on camera.
no, you're all right. But
Putting me on the spot to play guitar is like makes me feel insecure. But we should give your guitar building a shout out. You could.
I don't want to build these fucking things. They're too much work.
Yeah, but you're good at it. Like
Sometimes.
everybody needs to have a side hustle. I've learned that too. Like about this being if you want to be in the entertainment business full time, you can, but you have to do some other shit too. Like,
Well, we could probably give my studio a shout out. That might be the smarter thing.
What are you calling it?
I don't even know. Clinner Production, I guess.
Clinner Productions.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
I actually learned something. Productions is for film and live audio. Production, singular, is for studio stuff.
We just call it Clinner Studio. That makes
Yeah. We could do that too.
We don't need to get too fancy.
No, we don't. But it's nice because now with that X-Air stuff, I can go and multi-track a band anywhere I want. Go to a practice space and multi-track them. Yeah, go to the website that doesn't exist and enter the code Clint is great with your order to save 5%.
Well, or just tell people to add you on Facebook. That's what I tell people that all the time. Like I don't have Instagram or Twitter or any of that bullshit.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just go on Facebook, add Donnie Barney, add Randy Galton, add Drop Time Taxidermy, add Clint Herb, add Renegade Ridge Band.
Do you have a Drop Time Taxidermy page, like an actual page?
Yeah.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
Like I say, Randy's got both a page.
You're better than us. We're like supposed to be working musicians.
Yeah.
People get gigs like Ford Thurston from around here lives in Nashville, but he got the Randy Hauser gig from Instagram. And people tell me all the time, like, you need to get Instagram. Like, just add me on Facebook.
I got more time on my hands than yours.
That's true.
So I can do that stuff.
I don't know. It depends on what day it is.
I walked my dog last week.
Really?
Yeah.
All I literally did today was I built a fire because I've been burning the same like just garbage wood for a year now.
Yep.
And it's burning right now. I managed that. But I do a lot of my best thinking. Like I burn pretty much something every day, especially if I have all this wood to burn. But like I probably have more time today than
There's a song in that shit somewhere, man.
but it'd probably be a cheeseball song. I think about that all the time. But like I'm literally sitting there like, what could I do today to be productive? And then I just manage this fire and poke shit. And that's pretty much my day most of the days. And on top of talking to people, like half the battle that or like what we do is like just communicating all the time.
All right.
Yeah.
Like I have people to get back to. It sounds like there's a person that Clinton I know, his initials are RL, and he'd be like, well, I have to get back to some people today. But it sounds like me sounding like him saying this, but like that's generally my day is like just communicating with people about a multitude of different things.
I'm not a people person.
I never used to be. I mean, I think I'm a better people person outwardly than I am inwardly.
Yeah.
I'm a extrovert.
Introvert.
That's it.
What am I? You just drag me along.
A taxidermist.
Yeah, you're taxidermist.
Taxidermist.
Who likes beer?
I like beer.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get into the taxidermy business?
Because of beer. No.
Yeah, really?
No.
A lot of things happen because of beer.
Yeah.
In life.
No, my wife got sick, and I had to quit my job and stay home with her, and needed to pay the bills, and I didn't want to pay the price for an ugly mount again, so I started doing it myself.
Well, that's a hell of that's a American success story in a way. Like,
if I succeed someday, yeah.
You must have succeeded all right because you paid enough money to get those fucking signs put all over southwestern Pennsylvania.
And they all
those
got
weren't
stolen.
free.
They all got stolen, every one of them.
Yeah, well, I got tired of seeing them. I kicked them down. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They were everywhere for a while though.
They was.
I have picked up a few like political signs out of people's yards before. I know that's illegal, but I've done it quite a few times.
You're a horrible little rapscallion.
Yep, I've done it. I get angry.
Put mine back.
Back when I never touched yours, but I did. I'm like, who in the fuck is Drop Time Taxidermy? They're every fucking where. I'm in Ohio, and there's Drop Time Taxidermy signs in people's yards. Like, this guy's business is booming, apparently.
I was trying.
Well, I tell you that
No, Randy, were all those done by you? Were you driving everywhere and putting those up yourself?
Well, I had like 150 of them made, yeah.
American success story.
God.
And through trials and tribulations, we're gonna have it. We're gonna get it back here. Which
I'm working on it.
I'll tell everybody to come here. I don't have another taxidermist that I like. I know you, so
Yeah, this can be your official taxidermist too, Donnie.
Well, I got to kill something first.
I can kill you something. Just pay for it.
I'd rather that's pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll kill a squirrel or something here in the next couple weeks.
Don't kill no turkeys.
Yeah, no turkeys.
You don't want to do turkeys?
They suck.
I'd imagine they would. I can surely imagine that wouldn't be fun.
They're not fun.
Yeah, deer are a lot more fun.
Hey, that looks good though, Randy.
Thanks.
That turkey does look good.
I will tell you that, as I tell everyone, because this isn't the first person who's asked about turkeys, if you do shoot a turkey, or hit it with your car and do want it mounted in some way, Randy will do the plaque on the wall style turkey with just the fan out.
That's probably super easy.
Yeah,
right?
It's not bad.
Yeah, with the beard hanging down and the talons, the feet, whatever the hell they be.
Spurs.
That's it, spurs.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah, because I mean those are the trophy parts of the animal.
Right,
anyway.
I don't know if I'd want that anyway. Like
Yeah.
that's a little excessive.
I mean, I'll do them. I won't actually turn them down. But
What's the craziest thing you ever did?
bison, probably, or a water buffalo.
Did you do a bison?
Yeah,
You did a water buffalo?
did a water buffalo.
Really?
Dude, was it like full mount?
No, just a shoulder mount. But it weighed
Where'd it
about-
get it up in breakneck?
No, the buffalo came from it was deer farm animals.
Oh, yeah.
Hot fence, but it was like 300-pound, just the hide.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
It
sure.
was a lot of work.
Well, isn't water buffalo hide like that thick too?
I'd imagine.
Yeah, they are.
Big animals. They're pretty
Yeah.
bigger than American buffalo, aren't they? Thicker.
Thicker,
Girthier.
Yeah. Because they're not really related to the American bison. Because bison are bison, even though we call them buffalo, and,
Right.
then buffalo are buffalo.
Beefalo.
Yeah, beefalo.
Beefalo.
Well, have you guys ever done the ranch hunt thing like that? Like where you can go I know Dream Mountain has elk.
Yeah.
Have you done it?
I used to do. I was a deer farm, deer right there hanging, but yeah, a lot of my business when I first started was high fence stuff. I used to guide in the high fence.
Oh yeah, where at?
Hey, tell them about that. I'm going to grab that rack and bring it down.
Yeah, up on the summit, up on 31, going towards Bakersville.
Okay.
Used to help guide up there and did a lot of work for.
I always wanted to go to Dream Mountain up in Preston County, West Virginia. It's not far. And I'm not all about shooting them in a cage, but I'd like to try it. Just
Well, if you ever want a nice buck, it's hard to kill unless you pay for it.
True.
And meat, I mean, 300-pound animals. You're getting a lot more meat out of them.
I guess you get your money's worth.
Yeah, you do.
It's Jesus God.
Magnum.
Where was that from?
It might be Tree Mountain, actually.
Really?
I'm not exactly sure.
See if I can get that. That's hard to get in the camera the whole way.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There.
I've driven past Dream Mountain a few times. One of these days I'm going to stop and go in their office just to see, because I don't,
Well, I would do 30, 40, 50 deer out of the pen every year.
Really?
Used to.
There's quite a few people around here, just in this region of the world, that have deer in a pen just
Yeah.
for fun. I know there was guys I used to know up in White that had them, and Troy Shields, he has them.
Yeah, hell, Donnie, there's that one place, the road between the top of 3 Mile Hill and Rodney's.
On the right hand side.
Yeah. There's another halfway backwards way to Rodney's.
Yeah.
Because there ain't enough way to Rodney's.
That's my buddy Kevin Shore.
Okay, yeah, and he had that pen in there. He had some deer up there that couldn't lift its freaking head up because its horns were so damn big.
But seeing them, you're talking about right before you get to the Dollar General, right? If you're
Well,
going
that's where Troy's is. Yeah.
That's his
Yeah.
on the right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But there's some, I've seen some there, when you see them, it's holy shit, but then you very rarely see them.
They're usually in the back.
I didn't know those were Troy's. I didn't know.
They're not really Troy's. I think they're Kevin's, but Kevin's renting the place off Troy.
Oh.
I believe so. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad's a friend of Troy's. I don't know him all that well. But
I'm not 100%, but I think they're Kevin's.
But there was some people in White, PA, that had
Yeah.
them. And I used to go there when I was younger. They were family friends. I don't know them all that well, but
I like looking at them.
yeah, it's fun to get up close to them.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'd like to, because when you drive along past Dream Mountain, all you see is fence, and there's not an elk standing there next to
Right.
you. But I always said I was going to pull in, just go in, just see what's going on. If you see anything, it's neat.
They're neat to look at.
Yeah.
I bear hunted in Cameron County a couple years ago, and that was a crazy experience because the elk are tame,
Yeah.
and they're right there.
What part of Cameron?
Driftwood.
Driftwood?
Is that what it's called?
There's Yeah. I had a camp in Hicks Run.
Wherever the Driftwood Saloon is, you know where the Driftwood
Yes, I
Saloon
do.
is? It was the Phil Burns camp.
Okay.
And it's I could literally walk to the Driftwood Saloon from their
Right.
camp. So
I've been there.
When you go up through Benazet, it was crazy. I'd never saw that, seeing the elk up close like that. And they're tame. They're like dogs. They're
Yeah.
standing there just eating people's yards, and then we'd go up there. That was fun. And I didn't go last year because I was in Iowa, missed bear season altogether. I think I'm gonna go again this year.
I just took my daughter up there. When did I go up?
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, probably.
Yeah, because you went up like the day after we played up there.
Yeah.
You played up there?
Yeah, well, it was close to it. It was
Ridgeway, sort of.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was one of the local fire halls. They're having they have a fundraiser cookout thing, and they booked us for that.
Did you upcharge them? You should have.
Oh yeah. Oh, they took care of us real good.
Good.
Did you kill a bear?
I did not. Let me tell you the story. I'm the most unsuccessful hunter in the world. Like, I've not killed much, but like I'm not like I've never got like a trophy I'm proud of, but I keep going. And I just literally, that's like talking about earlier, like talking about just accepting that Clint will be the guy my age that's like really, really technical about music and stuff, and I'll just do all the other shit that no one wants to do. Like, that's gonna be my world. Same way with hunting. Like, I never could take it that seriously. I've been doing it my whole life, just been in the woods since I was young, and never really gave that much of a damn.
Yeah.
So I just keep going. Well, let me tell you a story about my first Cameron County bear hunt. This is with the whole Phil Byrne family. I drive up there on the Friday before, and we go to the Driftwood Saloon. And I get into the Jack Daniels pretty good. Phil Byrne was coming up later in the evening. He was working, I think it was coming up later. By the time he got there, we were back at the camp sitting around the fire. And he said my eyes were rolled in the back of my head, and I drew back on him like that. So I was like, and then I was passed out in the neighbor's bushes with my pants around my ankles, like night before bear camp, right?
Nice.
So this shows how seriously I was taking it. I was because everything's a party when I want a party, like, which is, anymore getting rarer and rarer.
Donnie, when you declare war,
when I declare it's time to party, it's like, which it's rare. I tell people all the time that Clint's a good example of this too. Like, just because I'm always drunk around you doesn't mean I'm always drunk. But like, there are some people, like, I feel like, man, they only ever see me when I'm drinking. I wish they could see me the other 30 days out of the month. But anyway, I digress. Bear camp. The next morning, it's 4:30 in the morning, right? Trying to, and they like tap me on the shoulder, like, "Hey, you going hunting?"
Was you still in the bush?
No, I somehow got to the couch. Okay. I don't know how, but I mean, like, I was still destroyed. Like, at 4:30 in the morning, I'm buzzing, like, just crazy. And they thought I was going to say, like, "No, y'all go ahead." Now I got to preface this because this isn't me saying this. This is Les saying this. He said, "You are the toughest man I've ever met in my life." Because I said, "Yeah, I'm going. I came here to bear hunt, not to sit on a couch." I got up, loaded my 30-30, and off we went up this straight, like, how the hills are out there. I smoke a pack a day, and I'm 26, and I should have more breath. I don't. So I had to keep taking breaks. It's dark, and I got a loaded rifle on my back. Straight up the hill, and I've never been, like, my hunting up the mountain here has always been like a 10-minute walk. You're back to where you can eat and drink and take a shit if you want to. Not there.
No.
So, like, you see these guys that take it real seriously, have food and drinks. I had nothing. Hungover, or drunk and then hungover. It's pouring down rain, cold as shit, November. And there I go up this hill. Finally, I get under this pine tree. I'll shorten this version, but, like, first thing I did was take a shit, and then I laid down, and I slept the majority of the day. And then we had all the walkie-talkies going on. Every now and then you'd hear, like, what's everybody seeing? And then at one point, Les saw a coyote. He's like, and he called his brother Jeff, like, "Jeff, big fucking coyote coming to you." Like, and I'm just laying there like, so like 20 bears could have walked past me. They would have smelled me before because I just took a shit like right where I was sitting anyway. So anyway, like, that was 4:30 in the morning. Whatever time it gets dark around there. What time? Like 4:30 in the evening.
4:35, yeah.
It was rainy, so it was getting dark earlier. I finally had enough of waiting for everybody else to call it a day. I started walking like back. It was a long walk back towards the truck. I found a crick. I took the scope covers off of I had not had anything to eat or drink all day. I don't know how I'm not dead. I took the scope covers off of my rifle, off my scope, and dipped it into the water
for
a drink, like, just have something to drink, and then, like, kept moving. And meanwhile, I was smoking Marlboro lights the whole time. I'm sitting up there too. Like, that's how seriously I take my hunting. Like, I'm sitting there, like, maybe something will walk up to me smelling cigarettes. But that was probably the hardest day of my life. Like,
glad you had fun.
Yeah, I did up until
the night before.
The hunting part sucked. This year I might not even hunt. This year I might just go up there and just drink and hang out and eat.
I said we got that open invitation up there at the place we played.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh God, those open invitations, they should know better.
Yeah.
I got a lot of open invitations, like, just to hunt. I don't care if I even go out in the woods. But I will come hang out.
Well, actually, it was more an open invitation. Come up here and drink beer. So that's why I kind of figured it'd be good for you and me, or maybe bad for you and me.
Probably horrible for you and me.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a cameraman.
You indulged at that camp we played at not long ago. I didn't know this. You stayed there like 1:30.
Oh fuck yeah!
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah, man. I was
pulled me.
I was there all night.
Because I do the same shit. I'll go where there's people. I don't know those people either. Les is the only one who knows them.
Yeah.
But if I was drinking that night,
It turned out that there was a bunch of people there that knew AJ.
well, that makes sense.
So,
But how many times in this music business have you found, like, especially me, I'm like a lone wolf half the time. I'm usually just playing with people I don't really even know.
Yeah.
So everybody leaves, and I'm usually like staying to party with these strangers. And like, well, that's one thing I guess social skills we do learn is like just to blend in and drink with strangers. I've done that countless times. Like, end up at a party with a bunch of people I don't know. Happens all the time.
It happens to me all the time, and I'm like, I sit there, be friendly, give a beer, wait for the conversation where I can come in with like something that I can knock out of the park.
Right.
Something that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah,
That's the key.
and then you do it, then everyone loves you.
Right, that's the key. Being funny is the key.
Like they're on Burgundy's.
Well, kind of, except you were among friends.
Yeah, sort of.
But I've done that a lot of times, like just show up to people's places. Those open invitations are awesome. I'll tell you this story. My first gig with Rick Kay last year was in Larchwood, Iowa, and I met one of his regulars my very first night. Her name was Lisa, and she lives in Clear Lake, South Dakota, which is like the hunting capital of the world.
Yeah.
And she owns a bar there. So I played 2 nights with him, Friday, Saturday, didn't drink. Sunday we had off. The next day we were leaving for Minnesota. This was my first trip with Rick Kay. She said, just to like try to like make me feel welcome, I come to befriend her, but she want to come to the bar, like you can eat and drink all day for free. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to fuck this gig up. Like I'm brand new to the scene here. Well, I took that open invitation. Went to this bar in Clear Lake, South Dakota called Peterberg's. Shout out to Peterberg's. And drank, and then I think I had a cheeseburger and drank. Threw up in her car. Like, it was just a brutal mess. And then like the next day I'm like, first night with these people, like first like social experience with these fans of this band. Little did I know how many times she actually fucking comes. She flew from South Dakota to Knoebels. She came to Knoebels.
Whoa.
Yeah, we drank at a bar in Smokin called Tiff's, me and her. We ended up becoming really good friends, but like that was one of those cases.
Dude, you throw up in somebody's car and then you become best friends. That's a real friend.
She's a real friend.
Yeah,
because I thought
legit.
I ruined it. I thought I fucked it up. Like she's a nut too. She likes to get hammered as well.
That works.
So Lisa, if you're watching this, I'm gonna send this to her and tell her to watch this because in Hinckley, Minnesota, where she'd also come, I nicknamed her Hurricane Lisa because she drinks way more than I do.
Yeah.
Now I don't know why that is, but
You're slacking.
no, I think I'm like gradually maturing because I used to like I turn it down now. I never used to turn it down like George Jones. Oh, and I never turned it down, but I have been like saying no. But when I don't want to say no, I'm not saying no. But anyway,
right.
Hurricane Lisa actually stuck. Like so. That was my story about an open invitation to a bar to drink for free. Ended up getting puke in her car.
It's a good story.
Yeah,
I probably puked. I think I puked out all over the city of Clear Lake, South Dakota. But like that's the thing about hunting too. She said we can come out, me and my friends. That includes all of us, I guess. If we ever wanted to hunt South Dakota, I've been trying to book gigs like a routing thing that didn't pan out this year.
Yeah, it'd be great to go out there and make money and kill
Right,
shit.
I'm trying to just go out there and make it to where it lines up. Where like the first day of rifle season in Clear Lake, South Dakota. We like, had a gig like the night before or something, and then just like go hunt like that. I guess that's how other artists do it.
Let's see what you could do that drive in about 2 days, huh?
Oh, less than that. You could do Clear Lake. So Larchwood, Iowa, in a motorhome that went 60 miles an hour took 24 hours exactly.
Yeah.
Clear Lake's another 90 miles. So in a car probably 21, 22 hours.
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
Yeah.
That's the thing about. We were talking off camera before this started. You were here. People in this area don't like leave to go other places. It's not hard to play music in this whole country. This country's not as big as you think it is. Like if you're like me that like I once drove 5 hours to play for 45 minutes and drove home. I've done that. Like it's just it's normal. I spend more time in my Kia Sorento than anything, but like I would drive out to like Iowa to play this weekend if it was worth it, like, and turn around and drive back.
Well, the other thing that's funny about this area is like as soon as you get out of southwestern Pennsylvania, pretty much, and northern parts of West Virginia, and in that little eastern corner of Ohio, it's like suddenly people are willing to actually pay you for what you're doing.
You're not the first person that said that. Everybody's getting on the same page. I feel like we've all realized that it's literally just right here that sucks.
Yeah,
like the rest of the country is actually pretty like generous with their money and fair. And
well, the other thing is just this area hates original music.
Yeah, that too. This area is just not a very good place for entertainment as a whole. Even from like the big stars, like this area is just like they struggle, I'd imagine. But like That's what I said. The other day I was just thinking about it. I'm like, I'd just as soon go out and play 5 nights in Hinckley, Minnesota at the casino there where people were actually engaged and friendly.
It'd be really badass because, like, obviously you and I can slave and work every single weekend for a month, or we could do a leg for a week a month and make the same money. And then have 3 weeks off if you don't want to make any more money, or do whatever.
That's what I learned last year with Rick Kay. It's like, it can be done. He's doing it right from Morgantown. My first trip with him was Larchwood, Iowa for 2 nights, Hinckley, Minnesota for 5, and then a routing stop on a Monday in Carmel, Indiana, then home. And I made, over $1,000 plus not paying for food or hotels. I'm like, it worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, so it can be done. You just have to go. It must be present to win, I guess, is the thing.
Yeah.
No one thinks that way. Oh my God, you're in Iowa? I'm like, I would literally drive from here to Iowa right now if there was like enough money for me to go.
Well, dude, literally the time that you go to sleep for 8 hours. Imagine how far you can drive in 8 hours.
Mm-hmm. I say that now. What did I do all morning? Burned. I could have been fucking halfway to Indiana by now, if not further. Sat there and burned in my yard. Like if there was gigs, so I've been pushing for like farther away gigs, and I'm like getting to the point now where I don't care to play. And I'll never probably ever, unless it's for big money, by myself. I can't say with like an artist. If I'm working for an artist, that's a different story. But Donnie Barney acoustic show, which I like to do because I like the money. I don't like to do it because it's not fun, but I do like the money. I upcharge Fayette County. I don't want to say the name, but like there's a place I really don't like 5 minutes from my house.
Mm-hmm.
They said, how much would you cut? I was in there just drinking one night, like just because I was already drunk. Like it was one of those places you have to be drunk to go in before you go. They said, how much would you charge to come play acoustic? I said, $500. And they laughed in my face. I'm like, oh, I ain't coming there. But I'll go to West Virginia for 3 or 4 or $250 or sometimes 2. Like, but not home. I just assume not play here ever again.
Yeah. No, you don't shit where you eat.
Well, I don't know if that's the way to look at it. I've gotten so used to just going. And I'd rather go anyway. Like, I know there's a gold mine in Ohio. I'll go out there. And I don't mind going. It's like the wear and tear on my car is nothing. It sucks to like have to get things repaired sometimes. But like, if I had a choice, I'd be in. Well, hell, my last trip with Rick Kay was Davenport, Iowa, then Hinckley, Minnesota again, and then Kashina, Wisconsin. I drove myself. I didn't even take the community like van. I was like, I just want to go because like I'm making enough money. I can be free in my kid and then still go to the gas station if I want to and not have to walk. I'm like, it was awesome. That's when I learned like $18 pilot truck stop showers are nice. Like I could be on the road 365 days a year and just live in my Kia if I wanted to. It just hasn't panned out that way yet. Because I really don't have I don't have a thing like you have a thing, Renegade Ridge. I don't have a thing. I have a million different things that I'm not really all that
Well, and the other
in.
thing, Donnie, is you can go and hit the road hard because you don't have anything that you want to hang around to do.
Yeah, like
it's like if you had the studio work like what I do.
Oh yeah,
it's nice to be able to get paid to stay in fucking like in your house. Yeah, it's awesome.
If I had
and if like say somehow between the two of us we had an artist that we supported with songwriting or guitar playing and studio work. And it was profitable.
Like the royalty checks. That's the dream.
Yeah.
I'd still do the road as much as I could, but like the royalty check, that paid my bills.
Well,
we're gonna do that eventually. I didn't mean to.
No, you're all good.
No, that was totally my fault. But like, I get myself sometimes in way deep situations. I had to go do a writer's night thing that I forgot I even signed up to do. And
you talking about the other Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, thank God we didn't do that. I was so fucking tired.
Really?
Yeah.
Hungover or just tired?
I was just tired, dude.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked out good anyway. We do need to do it though, because if I don't flex that muscle, that's one thing about like writing. I don't do it nearly enough. If I don't flex that muscle, I feel so counterproductive. Yeah. Because I know it can be done.
Yeah.
Like I know songs can be recorded and you can get money. Not much, not a whole lot of money, but I have got a royalty check before and it feels pretty nice. Like I want more.
Yeah.
You know, the more songs you have out.
Are you aware that on BMI and ASCAP you can like, if you know somebody either plays your song or you play your own song, you can tell them that you do that on a show.
BMI Live.
Yeah.
You send. What is? You have to send a picture of your set list, right?
I don't even know.
Here's the way I understand it, because I just learned about this. Because the guy that does the publishing company I kind of go through told me that he knows people are making like $300 a month just off of that. So if I go out,
that's awesome.
If I go out and I don't ever have a set list when I play by myself. But say I did, I could probably just make one up after the fact. Like,
dude, honestly, you can just say that you play, make one set list one time and then just use it for every gig. Just say you never change it.
Keep you putting that, but like, say I covered "Water" by Brad Paisley, it's on there too.
Yeah. He gets his residual, and you'll get
from
yours.
the venue.
Yeah.
The venue has to pay like their jukebox fee or whatever, or their fee to have live music to BMI or ASCAP.
Well, yeah. So they always pay their lump sum a year. So basically, if we don't take it from BMI keeps it.
Right.
So that's why it's like, yeah, absolutely do that, man.
And I'm too lazy to do it. And I found that everybody I talk to is too lazy to do it, but I'm about to not be. Because I mean, there probably is a few extra bucks I could get per quarter.
Yeah.
Whatever. Because it comes quarterly, I'd imagine, just like all the other royalty checks. But I'm really interested. I have 5 songs that I've co-written or written by myself out in the world right now. Plus one I did 2013 that hasn't made any money since 2014. Which was $9, but still, it was my $9. I tell people all the time, like, I got a royalty check for $9. It's a royalty check I got, but that was my $9, and I wanted it, like, regardless. So I'm probably like I'm shooting for like with 5 songs out there in the world. I think I'm gonna make like $60, probably this quarter in January.
Buys beer,
but like it's like there's still like a pride thing to that. Like it's my $60. I got.
Yeah,
that.
man.
You sure you don't care if I smoke? I'm about to smoke. You sure?
Smoke away.
We're on camera. You can tell me to fuck off.
Smoke away.
I can feel myself getting like.
I need to get you an ashtray.
I was gonna use an empty bottle.
Oh, yeah. Hey, actually, I got an idea. Hang on.
I got it right here.
There you go on there. Oh yeah, you can use that son of a bitch.
What is it?
We're plugging Country Time Lemonade.
Country Time Lemonade.
Which is the best lemonade, especially the pink. The pink.
I like the pink.
Yep.
It's pretty.
Man, this really is like Joe Rogan because you can smoke and.
I wondered about that on the way up here. I didn't know what kind of situation we'd have, and then you said it. You've probably been in a smoky bar a time or two.
Dude, he's been living at Ronnie's for a couple months now.
Well, you can't smoke there.
Hey.
That's true.
I don't want to publicly bash him, but like
Hey, don't bash Ronnie's because that might be a sponsor here before too long.
Well, I would
Never mind.
I walked in there. That's one of those places I was after a wedding a couple weeks ago. I played in Donnie. I went in there with a cigarette already lit. And they said no smoking, and I'm like, what? It's like looks like they turned a Longhorn into a spaceship. I was pissed, you know.
Dude, honestly, apart from that, it's I'm biased because it's my buddy who owns the place, Adam Baker.
And that's your home base. Like,
it is my home base, and honestly, I like the changes that Baker's made for it. Now, I know it sucks for smokers to have to go outside to smoke, but it fucking helps me get through nights playing. Because
I can breathe better.
Yeah, I didn't realize for how long, because it's like, man, every time I played, you remember when Vicky's was Vicky's and Ronnie's was always Smoky and playing places like that. I was like, I don't know why I struggle every night. It's like, then I thought about it, I'm like, oh, dude, you smoke cigarettes, but you never inhale shit. I'm like, yeah, I don't. And then I thought about it, it's like, dude, my mom's got like the worst asthma, and I must be like halfway to that. My lungs can't handle that shit.
If you listen real close here, I won't breathe in the microphone. I got bronchitis, like probably going on. I've been coughing for days, but like, I don't know. Smoking to me, which is kind of regular smoker, has become part of like my act.
Yeah.
If I'm playing a smoky bar, I'm smoking I'll do like a instrumental thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are we watching?
Hey, what are you doing, Randy?
Ty sent me a Snapchat of a goat.
Oh no.
Oh, you have Snapchat?
Yeah.
I don't.
Snapchat.
So
I don't either.
I'm so far behind the times. No Instagram, no Snapchat.
I've actually had Snapchat twice, and it was based solely upon girlfriends I had at the time.
Naked pictures.
I never even got any naked pictures
That's
through Snapchat.
That's why I deleted it. All my life I've been led to believe, since Snapchat came about, that it was strictly for like getting nudes. I'm like, well, fuck. I love getting nudes. Like, it's my favorite thing. It gets me like excited. So I downloaded the son of a bitch thinking like, oh, they'll start rolling in now. I added every chick in the book.
There they come.
And like an hour later, it's like, hey, what are you doing? With like a picture of just them. I'm like, you could do this through text. Why don't you just send me a bunch of nudes? So I deleted it. I tell every girl now, like, that if they send me nudes, like, we're doing this the old-fashioned way, like, through text, like, and I'm saving it.
I'm like, dude,
I'm saving it.
Listen, here's what I want you to do, honey. You fax me a web URL.
Yeah. This podcast keeps leaning back into the sex with chicks realm quite often. That's one of the among many interests I have is.
You got to have a hobby, man.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
because guitar playing turned into a profession.
Right.
That's the problem. It's like, what the hell do we do with our free time?
Well, I thought playing guitar would help me have more sex with chicks, but it turns out that's a farce too.
Mm-hmm.
Not really true. How that works out.
The problem is, it's really cool for a little bit. Well, hell, you posted the meme. 18-year-old girls like, that's so cool, and then girls in their mid-20s are like,
they don't give a shit. No one gives a shit about us. It took me a long time. It took me especially. I'm especially jaded because a lot of people don't know like my background, how I got into this stuff. My first gig in this whole music business, like coming straight out of fandom, was hopping on a bus with Higby.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought everybody had a bus. Like, as soon as I got out of that, like 2 years after like handing him his fiddles for 2 years, I'm like, I get into a band. I'm like, where's your bus? Like,
Yeah.
I was so
You've been lied to.
I was so jaded. We were talking about that. Who was talking about that the other day? I think it was on Rogan. They were talking about somebody had something really early on, and like, that was me. Like 15 years old. Like, thought everybody had a bus, and then I thought like it was a hard realization because every chick in my high school loved Poverty Neck, and I'm like, hey, I'm going on that bus tonight.
I'm basically there. Yeah.
No one gave a fuck.
Yeah.
No one gave a shit that I was doing that at all. Even Higbee played my high school when I was working for him, and I got to get out of class to go like work. No one gave a shit. I thought I'm gonna fuck every chick in the school. Like I'm the hottest chicks I never could have. Thought I was gonna have them. Still not had them. Still not. And like that was a hard realization for young me. It probably still is. Probably half the battle. Way too much too soon. I tell people that all the time.
Still trying to make up for it.
A lot of people don't realize like that. Like if I am jaded or a douche, it's because that was my first. I didn't really have to like. All the hard work and paying your dues came after the fact. My first gig was I had a warm bus every night.
I'm not having a bus. I'm getting a minivan. I'll be on tour in a minivan.
A minivan. Why?
Easier on gas.
Yeah, I guess it is, but
Let them seats recline.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Sliding door.
I mean, I got an SUV and it does all right.
Yeah, now I'm in a Kia Sorrento and I just plugged the country time there.
Mm.
You know, I'm so used to it now. It's been 2010 was the last time I set foot on a bus. Well, Rick had a motorhome for a time till the wheel fell off.
Yeah, what the heck was the last time I was on a bus? I'm trying to think.
Grade school.
Actually, it was probably Blackberry Smoke's bus.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you doing on Blackberry Smoke's bus?
Yeah, my buddy Jason sells guitars at Charlie Star.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're really good friends. Same generation, so they have a lot of the stuff in common. And then I found out that this is my favorite story ever. You could ask Tyler Ballou about my former man crush on Charlie Star. I was a homo for him, dude.
Really?
I was like as bad as I'm a Don Rich homo. I was a Charlie Star homo for a while.
I found a new one like that, but go on.
Okay, and so then that several years later, after Ragging Wrong, and this was 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a package show up at IUP. Aaron Lewis and Blackberry Smoke.
I remember that. I wanted to go to that.
And so Jason goes, yeah, I got tickets. Just come on and hang out with me. I got a guitar that I got to take to Charlie. I'm like, okay, cool. So before we know it, there I am on the, they're doing sound check and hanging out with them. And then I'm on the bus. And Jason brought an HD28V Martin in for Charlie to try because Charlie's looking for a Dreadnought Martin, Rosewood Dreadnought Martin that'll kick you in the chest. And so he tried that one. It was all right. He goes, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. And he goes, I had my dad had like a 1969 D28 and it would kick you. And I was like, and so I told him the story about this 72 that I refinished kind of against my will because I don't like refinishing old guitars. But it was it was a freaking cannon, man. I mean, you'd hit a G chord on that and it felt like that back was trying to come into your chest.
I might have played that one too, didn't I? I think your house one time.
You might have.
Anyway,
it was a couple years ago. But in any case, so then we keep bullshitting about different stuff because there's plenty of time until the show, and Charlie starts talking about some of Johnny Cash's Martins and like the one that Marty Stewart owns. And so I have all the knowledge in my head, so I start talking about it and correcting him about all this different stuff. The very, very friendly conversation, just being matter of fact. And then I'm like, later on, I'm like, man, I hope I didn't overstep my bounds.
I do that all the time. With people like that.
I feel you, man. And the show goes on, and then we're hanging out, and then we're ready to say goodbye. And I'm like, hey, Charlie, thanks for having me here. And he stands up and hugs me, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. He goes, yeah, man, thanks for coming. Really enjoyed hanging out with you. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then Jason's telling me the other day, he goes, yeah, I was talking to Charlie the other day, and him and I were talking about all the different people, all my different friends that that I brought to gigs. Charlie goes, hey, are you ever going to bring that little guy from Indiana back? I really like that guy. And I'm like, oh my God.
Isn't that the craziest thing when they like know you? Because that hasn't happened much in my life, but like.
I have a fan.
Who's that?
I never met him yet.
Shout out to my buddy Josh Roberts because he's watching. He's going to be watching. Yeah, we were over at Fort Days, and for not for on the Diamond, but the side stage that sits next to Town Hall.
The other day, you mean?
Yeah, the other day.
My mom was there. I told her to look for you. I didn't know if you were playing or what.
Yeah. I always run. I've been running sound there for 6 years now.
Oh, I told my mom to look for you. She doesn't know you though. So.
Yeah, fair enough. And so we have the stage set up next to the Diamond, and for the big act that comes in on Saturday nights.
Who was that?
That was Jay and the Americans.
Oh, okay.
So we got to set the the mixing console across the street, and so that you can obviously hear the mix in order to adjust it. So the problem is you got to get a stage snake out there, and because all the people walking and it's right across the street itself, they don't want to have cable ramps or anything like that. So that means fly the cable. So turns out a couple of my very good friends are also on the committee in Ligonier, so they're the guys that are always stuck with that. So I walk over and there's my buddy Josh, and he's on the stage. They got the cable snake run through this pipe, so it gets 20 feet of clearance for the parade and all that shit. And
people don't realize that's a lot of work. Regular people don't understand what has to be done to provide these shows.
Oh yeah, man, it's the mixing and the playing is the easy part. The setup is hell.
People don't realize it.
So we're there getting taking wire ties and wrapping this pipe up so that it's going to stick straight up in the air. And Josh goes, "Dude, I watched the podcast." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, man. I'm sorry," because he corrected me on. I couldn't remember that Danny Palmer Danny's kind of like my uncle, I guess, because he's my next door neighbor. Who's kind of like also my uncle. That's his brother. But yeah, I remember Josh. Danny works for Ligonier Water Authority now. I ain't going to forget that. But I couldn't remember what it was. So Josh goes, "Oh, yeah, he works for Ligonier Water Authority." I'm like, "Thanks, dude." He goes, "Dude, I love your podcast." He goes, "Randy's fucking hilarious." And I'm like,
"What?"
Yeah.
I have a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm going to send him a keychain or something.
You're gonna get in professional wrestling. I liken a lot of things in my life to professional wrestling, but that's called getting over. You're getting over. You're like
I'm working on it.
People are starting to. You're getting over with the folks.
I'm going to need a tour bus and backstage passes.
You'll be like one of those people off of like Duck Dynasty. Like you kind of remind me of that. What's that fella? Godwin.
Yeah.
Godwin.
Yeah.
That'd be you.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, Randy. If you had the goat.
I'm letting it grow in.
I mean the big goat.
Big goat.
First of all, it's really cool whenever people have you on their bus, and second of all, it's really cool when they're really cool to you. I've learned over the years because they don't have to be cool to me, but like a lot of people have been super cool to me over the years. Of just like we're all in the same boat. I've learned this. We're all kind of generally doing the same thing, and they're kind of doing the same shit we're doing, and they're all generally really cool. Like that's why I'm wearing the Cadillac 3 hat. Like I've opened for those guys twice now, and they've been super fucking cool. I'm like, and I really dig what they do. I'm like, this is awesome. So I bought a hat to support.
The only bus I've ever been on was a school bus.
I was on John Anderson's old bus. Remember Cody McCarver used to play at Paint Room? Well, his bus, he bought it off of John Anderson. He owns it.
Oh, cool.
I went on there one time. And then the only bus other than that since Higby's bus, I have drank whiskey twice with the stickers on theirs.
Clint's going to get a bus soon.
I actually remember a bus that I was on more recently than Blackberry Smokes. And it's a cool story. You remember Seven Bridges?
Yeah.
Eagles Tribute Band. I was on their bus last year at Fortes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because they brought it in. And really cool guys. They actually, the band's all split apart now.
I wondered that. You don't see much about them. The one dude in that band used to play for Justin Moore, I think.
It might, well, here, I got a story all about that too. But we ran sound for Brian Graves, who's the bass player in that, and now is doing Graves Bloodline. So him and Rob, the guy that did all the Joe Walsh stuff, it's like bluegrass, but instead of D28, you got a Telecaster, and you got a drum kit, and with banjo and fiddle, and electric bass.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, don't get me wrong, man. It's still bluegrass. I mean, they're still doing, like, they finished the whole thing up with Foggy Mountain Breakdown, because Brian's father was it Josh Graves? He was Lester Flatt's dobro player.
That sounds right.
Yeah, he was
Josh Graves.
He was basically the predecessor for Jerry Douglas. So, in any case, I mean, and Brian's a cool dude, so I liked hanging out with those guys. But what had happened was the year before that, Brian was getting that project together, and I mentioned that I played a little bit. He's like, "You got anything recorded?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man. Whenever we're done with all this, I'll show you." So I'm sitting there watching the guys set up, and me and my boss Eric, shout out to Eric Buckholtz, sitting there at the console, looking up, and I keep looking at the other guitar player. I'm like, that dude looks so familiar. Like I've seen his face a million times. I don't know who it is. And Eric goes, "What you watching?" I'm like, I'm up there looking at the other guitar player. He goes, "Oh, Brian." I'm like, "Yeah, what's Brian's last name?" "Franklin." And I'm like, "Is that Paul Franklin's brother?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, mother of God. So then later on, when I go on the bus, I'm going to show Brian Graves. It was actually that cover of that Bee Gees song that I did.
Oh, To Love Somebody.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, a couple of those views on YouTube are from me. I watch that sucker all the time.
And so I knock on the door, and Brian lets me in. I was like, "Oh yeah, man, I got something for you." And so we sit down. So it's Brian Graves and Brian Franklin, and
and
I'm about to show him something with really heavy pedal steel. And Brian Franklin's dad, Paul Franklin Sr., is the guy who makes all those damn things. And I start playing it, and you hear the steel guitar, and Graves looks at Franklin and goes, "I bet you never heard that before, have you?"
and not to interrupt you, but like you think about like the common people, like the regular like fans that are listening to this, they wouldn't give a shit about Brian Franklin. But like I'm like that too. I see somebody's like, that's so and so. Like I'm like a fanboy for like band members.
Yeah.
Like, if they walk by me, like I've had a lot like Justin Moore's guys, like Roger Coleman, like I could name everybody in that band, and like that's cool to me. But like no one else knows who that guy is. It's just a guitar player for Justin Moore. But like, that's Roger Coleman. He's so good.
I almost have to mention who Paul Franklin is because
right, no one even knows who Paul Franklin is. Other than us,
Paul Franklin is probably now the most recorded steel guitar player in history.
Did you listen to his podcast? His episode on
he had one with Lloyd Green, and I watched that the whole way through.
Chris Shiflett.
I don't think no.
Yeah, he did one.
I'll have to look it up. Is it on the YouTube?
Last year. No, it's on walkingthefloor.com is where I find it. Walking the Floor podcast, which is a pretty good podcast when it has people that I'm like I care about. Usually anymore it's like indie people that Americana shit that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Like, he had Dwight on, like a 2-part Dwight episode.
Oh, that's awesome.
Have you not heard it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, cool. Chris Shiflett, the guitar player for the Foo Fighters, who I don't like because of his political positions, but he does have some cool guests.
Yeah.
And he did a 2-part Dwight episode.
Actually, I think I might have watched part 1 of the Dwight one. Because now, as soon as you said Foo Fighters, I'm like, I've watched that podcast. I've watched the Walking the Floor podcast.
There was one with Brad Paisley that was like kind of popular.
Yeah, I watched that one. Didn't he have Red Volkart on there?
Yes,
yeah. And I listened to everything that Red does.
I mean, he's had a lot of cool people on there. Steve Earle, Wheeler Walker Jr. He did a really good one with him.
Yeah.
But the Dwight one was so informative to me.
Yeah, and it was rare because normally he doesn't do a 2-part podcast, and the Dwight one was a 2-parter.
One of the rare 2-parters. But he talked a lot about Buck, and like a lot of people wouldn't know. Like Buck died like having more money than like Garth Brooks. Like Buck
no one knows quite how much money Buck was worth, but that dude,
like more than Garth Brooks.
I was just reading the Buck Owens biography book, and just talking about trying to wrap your head around the amount of money he had, even back in the '60s, because he would buy these radio stations and flip them. And turn them into, Cuz Country and all those different things. Because he had ones in Arizona. He had ones out in Bakersfield. I mean, the man was I think that's why Garth and Buck got along so well. Because they're A-class businessmen.
Right.
As far as that goes. Like, they both built empires.
A lot of them are, you'll find. Like Brad Paisley, even now, owns a publishing company. You don't have to really work that much. Like,
yeah. Toby Keith's a great example of that.
Invested in a big machine when it wasn't shit and made like a nickel off every dollar Taylor Swift made for all those years until like last year. But anyway, and also Dwight mentioned about like Buck didn't really give a shit. He essentially knew he was writing a lot of times the same songs over and over again, like just same melody and everything. But he knew people would buy it. He like Buck was like he was real good at differentiating like this is just a job and I don't really give a fuck. This is my job.
Yeah.
And it worked out really good for him. Like so when I hear people, there's a lot of people around here that are way too into themselves. Like if you think about it, like I know I can name a lot of them. I'm not going to. A lot of them are friends of mine. They're like Rogan just said the other day, the secret to his success is he doesn't like himself.
Yeah.
So I've always hated myself naturally. So I think that's worked out to my advantage over the years.
I feel the same.
Knock on wood. I'm really lucky to have been born with like self-deprecating like hate for myself.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people around here that think really highly of themselves.
Oh, dude, you got to be humble.
And
you got to be humble.
And they're really like into what they're doing. Buck Owens didn't really give a fuck about what he was doing. He knew that dumbasses like us would buy it. And just made a lot of money. So you have to think that way sometimes. I hate to break the fourth wall of the entertainment business, but a lot of smoke and mirrors. Well, Dwight goes into detail about that on that podcast. It's really interesting.
And I can't even lie. I buy Buck Owens records. I don't buy Buck Owens records for Buck Owens. I buy Buck Owens records for Don Rich and Tom Brumley.
Right. Well, that's why like the Don Rich thing. Like, I don't think people realize how you're still way into it. Mm-hmm. Like you'll never not be into it. I
still don't feel like I've learned everything I can from him because there's still shit he could do that I can't do.
I've moved on with my life, but when I was younger, like I burned out like live at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah,
like my grandfather.
That's how I learned how to sing harmony.
Like I like in the Don Rich thing, I was obsessed. Like I was just learning how to play guitar at the time, but like I've probably owned 3 copies of it in my life just because like they get like worn out, like being played too much. Like I was obsessed, like you are now.
Yeah,
then.
I'm not even as bad as I used to be when I was a teenager.
I'm obsessed right now. I feel.
Well, and also, Donnie, I also have to tear apart Brumley's stuff too.
Yeah, you're into that tearing apart stuff. I can't. I just.
The way that I play guitar and the way that I make strides is I have to. First, it was Johnny Cash. I had to learn everything that I could from it. Then it was Buck. I still haven't learned everything that I can from it, just as far as guitar goes. But there's still more to get into it. Like his instrumentals, some of the inside out, backwards, weird shit that Don did on instrumentals was incredible. And then after that, because I tried to do Haggard before, and I wasn't up to par with it.
There's a lot of interesting stuff in the Haggard.
Then I sat down, and I think I've tabbed out just about every big Haggard lead guitar break that there was. And like having to do Honky Tonk Nighttime Man, and Living with the Shades Pulled Down, and Old Man from the Mountains Coming Home.
Ooh.
Some of that shit is just freaking unreal.
Josh Thompson does a cover, Old Man from the Mountain. It's
Really? I haven't heard that.
Really good. Just the sidebar there. I wish I had. I always listen to you talk about this stuff anytime we're around. It's like I wish. Like I'll go home and just drive. Like I wish I had the discipline Clint has to freaking.
Dude, honestly, I don't do it for myself. I did it to put it online for other people.
I just don't have that discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well,
enough.
It also used to be that I got paid for it.
But that
helps.
That would make me want to do it a little bit more. But like I never had that discipline. I would be twice the guitar player I am if I could like sit down and like. Even like there's some Keith Urban stuff I wish I could figure out, but like I'm like, yeah, that's close. Sounds kind of like how Keith does it, but it's the way I do it. And most of my guitar playing has happened just through osmosis anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like rather than putting like hand to fretboard, I just kind of like just soak it in and then see whatever comes out comes out.
Yeah,
I would be a lot better. I will say there's so much room for improvement in my playing, but I am in that regard complacent. I'm not complacent about the money I'm making or the shows I'm doing or the shows I'm involved in
or the quality that you bring to the table.
Right. Or
you're always doing your best.
I love well, and I've not always given my best either, but like
none of us are perfect.
I've thrown a few, but like I think that's everybody in the world probably. There's some really successful guys that fucking drank through a few of them. Justin Moore, I saw him do it one time. Mm-hmm. Like he actually said he's like I'm
pretty sure Hank Jr. still does that.
I think he's just being Hank Jr. I don't think.
I think you kind of expect it.
You read the comments online. I was just thinking about it because he's the last person I've not seen that I want to see, and everybody says the shows are horrible, but like I don't think he's even drinking. I think he's just doing whatever the fuck he wants to do because like he changes the words and stuff, and it's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway,
four-time entertainer of the year.
He says, "I got ketchup on my blue jeans. I just burned my hand. Lord, it's hard to be an icon man." And he says, "I got girls to cook, girls to clean." Women to change custom guitar strings. I think that's for me that's genius.
Yeah.
But Justin Moore one time I saw him like in 2010. He's like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Before the show I usually like to pound a few Jack Daniels, and I think tonight I might have pounded a few prematurely. Like he was a little bit hammered. Like some people get hammered all the time, but like the advantage those guys have to get hammered is they have to do a 90-minute show and they can salvage it.
Yeah.
Me getting hammered is like a 4-hour show. It's like by the end of it, you can't even stand up. But
yeah,
I digress. What were we talking about? Oh, the discipline and I'm never happy or complacent with the overall. I think the shows could be better as a whole. Nothing to do with the guitar playing itself because I'm just happy like being able to play the fucking thing at all. Like know what I'm doing okay. But like I've never walked off stage. I haven't walked off stage in a long time with any artist that I play for. And be like, damn, that was really, really good. Like, that was really cool. Like, I was like, we could have done this. I'm never, ever satisfied. And I think about this stuff all the time, like, every day.
I want to be hypnotized to wake up and know how to play.
Probably could be done.
Is that possible?
Some people get hypnotized and quit smoking.
Yeah.
I can quit smoking easily, probably.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah, I don't smoke at all.
Want to start?
No.
I've got a lot of people back on the cigarettes, and they're some of them are kind of named people. Barbara Mandrell's granddaughter's boyfriend quit smoking. Yep, he quit smoking.
Uncles, cousins, neighbors, brothers.
Yep, it was Barbara Mandrell, her Vanessa, her granddaughter, her boyfriend quit smoking until he met me one night, and I got him back on the cigarettes.
I'm sure he regrets that.
Proud of that, aren't you?
Probably regrets meeting me. Drew Johnson is a friend of mine. Do you know Drew, Clint? Have you met Drew? He lives in Waynesburg. His brother, or his half-brother, is Brian Davis. Brian Davis is a songwriter in Nashville who's written...
I've heard that name.
Andy loves him. But Andy didn't even know this till I told him when I saw him that Brian's half-brother is Drew. He's my friend. He lives in Waynesburg. He's also a writer. But Brian has written One Hell of an Amen for Brantley Gilbert, Lights in My Hometown for Brantley Gilbert, a bunch of other stuff for people. Drew, a long time ago, quit smoking until I came around. Got him back on the cigarettes. Daniel Downey. Do you know Daniel Downey?
The name's familiar.
Hollywoods. He didn't smoke for a long time until I came into the fold. Got him back on the cigs. I'm like the Marlboro should sponsor me, honestly. I've got a lot of people back on cigs that quit smoking.
I never got people to smoke, but I have sent a few to therapy.
Well, I've sent a few to therapy and vice versa over the years. That's a fact.
But I'd be cool to be hypnotized and just wake up and be a skip. I
don't know if that would apply to the guitar, though. I don't know if that could be done.
But part of the problem is the muscle memory.
Be a good
and the
hypnotist.
discipline. The discipline.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of like I can hypnotize you to think that you're Usain Bolt. That doesn't mean that you can run like the wind.
True.
If I'm running, you better run too, because something's chasing me.
Yeah. Or, I mean, we could. Hell, when I get drunk, I wind up thinking I'm Daryl Singletary, but that doesn't mean that I can sing like him.
No. I'm progressing though. I see it. Slowly.
How about that Phil Valdez that he had on guitar for you know Phil?
Yeah.
He was a monster. I ended up just meeting him, didn't know he was Daryl Singletary's guitar player. This was before Daryl died, but he's a monster, Phil.
Another one of those Brent Mason guys.
Yeah, he was just playing the afternoon shift at the George Jones place in Nashville, and it turns out he was Daryl's guitar player too. He's a monster. Added him on Facebook.
That's one of the reasons why I don't. People, it's a weird thing because it's like you have either the people that are touristy and are like, we're going to Broadway, or the people who are like utterly avoid Broadway. And I'm kind of somewhere in between.
I'm somewhere in between.
Because it's like my buddy Tyler goes and plays steel with a bunch of stuff, a bunch of guys when he's off the road. My buddy Mark Morning, shout out to Mark, my homie, my friend for a long time. He moved back down there, played on Broadway. Now he's playing guitar for Daryl Worley.
Nice.
And but when he's back home, he goes and plays on Broadway.
It's probably something those guys do just to have fun. I'd imagine.
I mean, you make a couple extra bucks, you go down to Layla's. I mean, the only thing that's really shitty now is Tyler was just made a post on Facebook about how the parking is horrible now.
Well, it's expensive.
He literally went to a parking garage, bought his ticket, pulled in the parking garage, parked his truck, got out of it, started getting his steel out of the truck, and then some guy came up and says, "You can't park here, you have to leave." And Tyler's like, "I just bought a ticket from the dude out front so that I could park here." He's like, "No, dude, you got to leave."
What happened?
I don't know how that ended up. I'm pretty sure Tyler's
Awkward silence.
I could never live there.
Yeah, I couldn't
Thanks,
either.
Randy, for that was good. You're a good broadcaster. You got to fill the dead space.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. Little slow on it.
I could never live in that town, and I was getting ready to say about the somewhere in between thing. Like the last time I was there, I used to go and be a tourist like the first maybe 2 trips.
Yeah.
In like 10 and 11. Now I don't care to go there ever unless I have to go there. I went there with the Joseph Sisters a couple years ago to play, and the last day I didn't have nothing to do. I just drank all day long.
Yeah.
And that's when I found myself down there because it's just like bars to be in where there's chicks.
Yeah.
But like other than that, I try to avoid like down like that region. I didn't have to play there for any reason.
Yeah, the only time it's nice is like if they got good bands lined up at Layla's, I'll just sit at Layla's.
You know what? Seeing the good bands never like the first couple times. I'm like, it's like okay, I get it. These guys are really good. Like, I'm disgusted. I want to, I just as soon go to Losers and sit with their no band. Like,
Well, yeah, you could do that.
I got thrown out of Winners last time. I took a piss in the sink, but I don't know if I'm allowed back. There's enough people coming.
Yeah, I don't think that they have a
wanted list.
Yeah, that they have on the back wall inside the employees only area. They have "Do not serve."
Donnie.
Yeah, I've been barred from one place in my life since the Hutchinson Sportsman's Club. That's the only place I'm barred from. I've done a lot of like pissing in sinks and places and stuff. And
That's
why. No, that's not, the Hutchinson Sports Club. I wasn't even involved. There was a fight that I was just kind of present for. I wasn't in. I've never been in a fight in my life. Literally, who the hell am I going to beat up? But I got barred.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That makes absolutely no sense.
I'm on the wall. It's a long story. It was Halloween, 2014. I was just there, and a friend of mine got punched, and I went to check on him. And they were like, get out, get the fuck out of here. And I didn't get the fuck out right away, so I think they were pissed.
Yeah.
I had a friend that was in need. He was bleeding profusely. So I'm on the list now. I'm barred.
You don't need them.
I went there once a year, if that anyway.
Yeah.
Like every now and then I'd fill in a guitar for Birmingham there for $100. Like now I won't, can't, don't want to.
I won't worry about them.
Yeah.
I wasn't a member or anything. My uncle got. I'm not gonna tell the story. I don't want to. I don't get. That would get me sued probably.
Yeah. You got to be careful. We were just talking about shit that we could say on the podcast to get us sued.
There's probably a lot, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, man.
I just say what pops into my head.
That's a problem for me. I found my mouth's got me in trouble a lot. Like I'm getting better at it. I will say like there's that old Sammy Kershaw song that ain't very old, but like and Tim McGraw had a hit like I ain't as good as I'm gonna get, but I'm better than I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think about that about myself sometimes. Like, my mouth got me in trouble a lot when I was younger, especially drinking in my mouth. But like, there's a lot of things I could say, especially about Hutchinson Sportsman's Club, but I'm not gonna say. They'll sue me.
Yeah, well, it won't do anybody any good.
No, yeah. What's the point?
Yeah,
I don't say much usually. I talk more on here than I do ever.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had to get you to come out of your shell to turn into a beautiful butterfly.
I'm peeking. I like
You're a hell of a
yeah.
butterfly.
Mm.
Thank you.
I never saw one mossy oak butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the only one not wearing camo today. I feel
I'm
like
feeling fresh today.
I feel like a gay man.
No, you're all right.
I'm wearing purple.
I like Paranormal.
Hoosier Racing Tire, man.
I like Paranormal.
This show is brought to you by Hoosier Racing Tire.
I'll say, what was the one I had an ad break that I wanted to use yesterday. I don't think I used it, which was hang on, I gotta do an ad read.
Jesus.
Don't hurt yourself, Don.
Drop my cig.
Don't hurt yourself, buddy.
You didn't have
Yeah.
a beer yet.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't need to drink to have fun.
Yeah, it was. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning into the Smokin Herb podcast. This podcast is brought to you by our main sponsor today, which is the Broken Hopes and Dreams of Clint Herb
In Marlboro.
and Marlboro
And me.
In Hoosier Racing Tire.
and Copenhagen.
Drop Time Taxidermy.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
McVeigh Benders.
Yeah, McVeigh
Rodney
Benders.
Corner Cafe.
Rodney Corner Cafe.
Clint Herb Production.
Clint Herb Production without an S.
Yep.
A lot of branding, sponsorship opportunities.
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
Pittsburgh Paranormal.
Pittsburgh Paranormal
What's the
Investigators.
story? I was looking at that hat. What's the story there?
I'm a member of their group. Just Paranormal Investigators.
You're into like the Bigfoot thing, aren't you?
I never met him.
You haven't?
No,
A lot of people around here have.
I haven't met him yet.
You know anybody that has?
Rumors.
I could walk to Jamalville. They said that's where he lives. I live down at the bottom.
I thought he moved.
No, he's still there.
He's still there?
I'm told.
You haven't seen him?
Someone saw him 10 years ago there, a friend of mine. He's a bullshitter, though.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
You guys let's talk about that. That's a good topic.
Oh,
like
yeah.
ghost
Strange
hunting.
shit. Like, what have you seen paranormal in your life?
I've seen everything you need to see.
Except
to
for
me.
Bigfoot.
Except for Bigfoot.
So let's talk about it. Wait, you remember, you don't follow rap music, but do you remember, like, last year there was that big thing, Machine Gun Kelly versus Eminem? He kept saying that in the rap. Like, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I've been into ghost hunting for 10 years now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other stories. What other? Because
I want to talk all about ghosts and paranormal shit. So
okay, yeah. Because first damn. Oh, by the way, Leanne says that her house is haunted, so we might need to do an investigation up there in Salzburg.
Let me know.
Get
We're
you
ready to
guys
go.
up there.
Get us up there.
I'd
We're
like to
taking
go.
it.
Can I
It's
come on
fun.
one?
Sure.
Do you go on those expeditions a lot?
Yeah, we're going, actually, let me see what day it is, the 20.
Dude, I ain't scared of no ghosts.
I ain't scared of no goats.
What's that from? I don't watch movies. Everybody
Yeah,
says that.
I ain't scared of no goats. Yeah, what is that from?
I quote a lot of movies in my life, but don't watch them.
Next Saturday night, supposed to be at Dead Man's Hollow in McKeesport, doing a ghost. I'm actually helping Earl with Pittsburgh Paranormal Investigators.
So what have
do
you
a
seen?
tour. I've seen full body apparitions, black shadows, EVPs. They're on my website.
You have a website?
I have a website.
I'm going to have to get on it. What's it called? Let's plug it.
It's on my Facebook. It's just something I share on Facebook. Bridgeport Paranormal Association.
I think I followed that, maybe.
Yeah.
I might.
Donnie, it was Ghostbusters.
I ain't scared of no ghosts. I never saw Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Much
say-
like I'm assuming you are, I feel like we are kindred spirits in this way. People can't believe that I've not seen. Oh, I burned the house down. A lot of things like I've never seen Ghostbusters. And all the standard movies everybody watches, I've not watched. But like I tell people, like, I was really more concerned with like putting on my headphones and listening to Clay Walker at the time. Like I was really interested in that. Like George Jones was like our household name. I didn't watch movies. Like Pure Country was my favorite movie and still is. Like anyway,
Bring the horns.
Yeah, all right. Go on. Get your ass out of here. That's George Strait couldn't act for shit.
No, not at all.
Go on. Get your ass out of here. That's the best line.
Oh,
Randy,
man.
we're gonna see pictures.
I'm going to show you a picture. I'll have a digital camera in one hand and an infrared camera in the other.
Let me extinguish this flame.
Spit on it.
Well,
Don't let the flames go down.
I'm using the spit down there to extinguish it.
Donnie, you listen to the Steelwoods at all?
I have not as much as everybody else.
Okay.
I'll tell you that before we get into paranormal stuff. Hold that thought, Tia.
Yeah.
I gotta say, because I was thinking about this with the Cadillac 3, and we get. I knew this is how this would go. These podcast things. You have an agenda you want to talk about, then you just veer off of it.
Yeah.
So there's a couple points I want to make real quick. I've subscribed to the notion over the years that I don't get into what everybody else is into until I see it for myself. There were a lot of friends of mine that were really into the Cadillac 3, and I just like, well, Everybody else is in the Cadillac 3. I don't need to be. Then I saw the Cadillac 3, and I'm like, I'm into the Cadillac 3 now. Everybody has been into Whiskey Myers now for a couple years.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about him. Didn't even bother to listen to him. And then I worked with Whiskey Myers this past summer. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like, love Whiskey Myers. The band Fozzy. I'm the biggest Chris Jericho fan. I've loved wrestling since I was a kid. And I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I get to meet Chris Jericho next week. I've never, like, if there's a very short list of people I care to meet, and he's one of them. Just by knowing somebody who knows somebody, I get to meet Chris Jericho next week. I'm so pumped. But like, he has a band called Fozzy. I never listened to him. I just assumed it was Chris Jericho, the wrestler, in a rock band. Went and saw Fozzy by myself in Morgantown a couple years ago. Freaking love Fozzy. Like, they rock. So the Steelwoods, I've not seen them, but like, if I ever see them, I'd probably really like them. But I have like watched like.
AJ drugged me. We saw him at the Hard Rock before anybody gave a shit about him, and like, our band was there. We were 5 out of 20 people in the place. It was some fucking spiritual guitar shit that went on, man. They did a cover of Skinner's "I Need You," and it was the fucking greatest chorus of live guitar I've ever heard in my life.
Do you want to talk about being in a place that was small with 20 people? I saw literally, Jackson Gardner can attest to this. He's not going to watch, but he could attest to this. We saw Brothers Osborne at Schmitz for 25 people. And that guy freaking is a player. And now they're like the hottest shit in the world. I think they did 3 nights of the Ryman last year.
Yeah, man.
But like, I saw him at Schmitz for 25 people. That was really special. But so, in a long-winded way of answering the Steelwoods question, I'd have to see it to believe it. Like, I'm not much into the hype. Like, I went to the fair to see Luke Combs because I want to see what the hype was all about, and I still don't get it. Like, I don't see the attraction to Luke Combs. I don't want to get into this thing. I want to talk about these ghosts, but
my wrestler idol died.
Who?
Ultimate Warrior.
You loved the Ultimate Warrior? He was
Loved
my
him.
least favorite, probably.
I loved him.
See, but I'm a little different. Like, I was born in '93, so I came up in the Attitude Era. I could talk about wrestling all day. That's my muse. Like, and I apply a lot of like wrestling concepts to what we do. I think a lot of people should do that. Take what they do.
You have a lot of facsimiles and metaphors.
Yes, I guess.
I like Goldberg too.
Yeah.
You look like him. You look like Goldberg. A little bit.
That's Randy's tattoo.
What, the gold?
No, he has my tattoo.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. If you pull up the first podcast, because Randy's wearing a cutoff. Yeah, you see it right there on his left shoulder.
I didn't watch. I listened. I put it in my pocket. But I wanted to be a wrestler before I wanted to be a musician. Like, I was always obsessed with the wrestling business, and then I got back into it years later, and I'm like, I'm really involved. Like, I'm about to really like probably get involved in the wrestling business at some point. But like, I do get to meet Chris Jericho next week, and I think
that's going to be badass.
It's blurry, but you can see it on the shoulder.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's got it.
Jeez, what is it?
He's got it.
What are you doing in that picture?
Riding a horse. Ride my horse.
You have a horse?
Yeah, I got 2 of them. I had 3. Just
That's
gave
cool.
one away.
So I have something before we get to ghosts, just to finish this up, unless we have more. Someone brought up, I don't know if you listened to Cody Jinks' new album.
I've not listened to all of it.
I only listened to one song.
That's a good picture.
Because somebody goes, hey, this intro sounds like it's a direct ripoff to I Believe in You.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to play it because if we only do like 30 seconds, it's
Not, you don't have to.
yeah, it's fair
doesn't
use.
count.
As soon as we get done with the dang ad. Yeah. Pull it up, Jamie.
Young Jamie.
Yep.
You need to get a Jamie.
I do need to get a Jamie.
What does Jamie look like? I always wondered. You talk about a direct ripoff.
No, wait. No, that's the original.
Oh, shit, I was going to say.
So then the Cody Jinks tune is... I really hope it's still here. Let's see.
While you're looking at that, have you listened to any of the new Sturgill Simpson? I like it.
No, I haven't, just because I think because it's just not really my music.
That's what I figured it wasn't, but I like it. Like, it's weird and kind of cool.
Oh, what the heck? Why is this playlist not the new album? I want the new album.
Are you
dang
really
it.
into Cody Jinks?
Yeah. His last album didn't grab me quite the way I wanted to.
I got something to tell you off camera.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, why does it have to go into like video playlists? Just show me the music, please.
Awkward silence again.
Thanks, Randy.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah, you're doing terrific, Randy.
Just doing my part, boys.
He's your Jamie,
Yeah,
Jamie.
yeah.
but you can see him. Jamie, I don't know what Jamie even looks like.
He's been talking to Jamie for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Who has? Joe Rogan or Clint?
No,
Clint.
I have.
Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff.
Cliff.
Oh, what the hell? Here we go. Think like you think. This is it. Oh, that helps.
I don't know if that's a direct ripoff. It's kind. I mean,
Well, I think it's tribute.
it's kind of standard fare.
Yeah. Well, also that. But
I like that guitar sound. Though.
Yeah, that's my buddy Chris from Cody's band.
Oh yeah. God, you have all these popular friends.
Well, it's for me and Hot Rod being buddies and
Why-
steel players.
I'm a
You have all
fan.
these friends. Why aren't we working more? Like, get us a job with the next Cody Jinx.
Well, that's what I would love that to happen, but I don't think they have any say in what their openers do apart from the guys that they bring.
No, but like, if there's like a new Cody Jinx out there that needs a band, like I'd like to find him.
Oh yeah, so would I. Maybe I have to be the new Cody Jinx.
I've been saying that to myself too. Like, if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. Then I
Yeah.
realized, like, I never wanted to be the front man.
Yeah.
I dip into it all the time. And I'm like, I ain't that good at it for one, and I just really rather. I love being like we're all NASCAR fans here, right? Like,
Yeah.
I love being the Chad Knaus to the Jimmy Johnson. Like,
Yeah.
I like to pull the strings. I've been that for Wyatt for 5 years now.
Mhm.
You know.
Speaking of, shout out to Wyatt.
He's not won his 7 championships like Jimmy Johnson, but
Yeah.
I have been his Chad Knaus.
I got to get Wyatt on here.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Well, if we
Yeah,
want,
you booked New Year's Eve?
yes.
Oh, son of
Yep.
a bitch. Counts you out.
Yep. Done a golf for pretty decent pay. So
Yeah, don't turn that down.
Yep.
I'm booked too, I think.
Yeah, we need, maybe you can come play bass for us.
I'm booked, I think, that night.
What there's a lot of those like alt country guys that I've been really like. Co Wetzel, I'm really into Co Wetzel right now. I'm really high on that. But let's talk about ghosts.
It'll be about 8 years till you can say, hey, can you play bass for me?
I've probably seen worse.
yeah. Actually, I don't think it'll take too long. Now that you finally got your hands loosened up, you'll take to it like a duck to water.
Is there like a new Johnny Cash tribute band working around here now? That
Oh, that's my buddy Sean.
isn't Wally playing for him?
That's Wally's son-in-law.
Yeah, he told me something about
Yeah.
that. But I
Yeah.
think he's playing because, judging by his new profile pic, he was all dressed in black. He looked like Wally aged in reverse. It
Yeah.
was weird. Like I don't know. It's strange to see him like all dressed up like
Wally got a new kit finally, dude.
that. Did he?
Yeah, another electronic kit. But it looks like an actual drum kit. He bought.
I've seen one of those.
He bought one of the $4,000 Yamaha or Roland's, whichever the hell one it is. But it's got like an actual kick drum.
Who was the Johnny Cash band that I met that knew you last year? They were.
Old 97.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, that was the band I used to be in.
They were friends with Dave Dubas, who plays bass for Justin Moore.
Mm.
They knew him too, but they knew you. I met them at Bloomsburg Fair.
Yeah, man. I that's how I played Knoebels.
All through them.
Yeah.
I'd love to get back into Knoebels. That was a good gig.
Yeah. That was always interesting. The ironic part of it was the first time we went to that gig, I look up at that stage and I go, dude, I've seen this stage before. And then it was from.
See, I didn't put that all together until I was like there for like 2 or 3 days. I'm like, oh, this is where you did the video. I never, paid
Yeah.
that much attention, but like, oh, it makes sense now.
Yeah, this was the place. I think it was just somebody in the audience took the video and then it went
No,
viral.
there's
Did they do that specifically?
no, there's a whole conspiracy theory about it. I guess I could say this on the podcast. Like, I don't think anybody's going to care. There's a lot of conspiracy theories in that band.
Yeah.
Strange. It was strange to be a part of. The bass player, who's now dead, his brother, his estranged brother, maybe wasn't estranged at the time in 2011, claims to have taken that video. But no one could confirm nor deny if he took that video. And the bass player held a little bit of a resentment towards the drummer, thinking he should have got some kind of residuals from
Some kind
his
of credit.
his brother should have got something for taking the video. But I never understood this. The residual effect, like any money that was made from that, shouldn't that go to ZZ Top anyway?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and for anybody who doesn't know, we're talking about this drummer is at the wrong gig video.
Which you can get him on. I can get you him on this podcast probably. He needs to do more podcasts. I told him this last year.
That'd be badass, man.
I told him he should do more podcasts. We could get him on here. He's actually fun to talk to.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
He is a cool dude.
The couple interviews I watched with him, I was like, man, this guy seems really down to earth and pretty chill.
He is pretty. I got along with him towards the end there better than anybody else in that band. Like we had a lot of similar interests, like in like rock music and stuff. Like he's a metal guy. Randy. What time is it? Was that an alarm?
10:05.
10. What is it really? 10 to 5?
No, it's 30 after 5.
Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of like. So there was always like a little bit of hidden like drama there, like about who took the video and it was
a mystery.
It's a mystery.
It was like a ghost.
A ghost.
Good segue.
I don't believe in ghosts.
People who don't see the most see that I believe in ghosts. Diamond Rio. Jimmy Olander. I met him one time.
Oh, Jimmy. The original G-Bender guy.
I met him at...
It ain't Brad, it's Jimmy.
No, it's Jimmy, for sure.
And I like Jimmy because Jimmy does both.
Jimmy and Brad are probably the only G-Bender guys that are, like, prominent, right? Like, G guys.
Yeah. Well, and Jimmy did B as much as G, but it was Jimmy's idea to bring it on the G.
Met him at the Indiana Fairgrounds one time for that, whatever... Andy just played that show with Craig Morgan. It was that show. It wasn't during the fair, but... Ghosts. Paranormal.
There's a picture of it.
I want to see a picture.
Took that in the cemetery up in Mount Pleasant. I was the only one there.
Looks like a big giant dude walking.
Yeah. That's pretty cool picture.
Did you feel anything?
No, I didn't even see it till after I took the picture and went over it.
You believe in like the animals, like the supernatural animals? Like my dad is a very straight like
animals.
What do you reckon that is?
Looks like a horse to me.
Kind of does.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like...
Is that at Gettysburg?
No, this was out New Dairy.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact about Gettysburg. I have a birthmark here on my neck, and I have one here. I went to a fortune teller when I was a senior in high school, which looking back, I should have never done because I think the devil's been following me around ever since. She said, you have a birthmark here and a birthmark here, and I didn't take my shirt off for the lady or anything, so I don't know how she knew I had one.
That's weird.
That's the weirdest part about this. She told me a lot of stuff that ended up coming true, too, which also makes me think I shouldn't have done it because I think the devil fucks with me now.
Yeah.
But, like, she knew I had a birthmark here on the side, and she said, that's where you got shot in Gettysburg, and then she said, don't ever go there, it'll freak you out. And I've been, like, past it, but never, like, to have stopped a battlefield. She said it'll, like, mess with me if I go.
Really? That's wild.
But
I would definitely stop.
She told I would. I don't, because I'm messed up enough. Like, she told me a lot of things that ended up coming true. This was 2011, but then she also said Rascal Flatts was eventually going to cut one of my songs, so I'm still waiting on that. But
well, I got my buddy who plays pedal steel for him.
Let's pitch him some songs.
Might have to. He'll see if Travis Toy will listen. I don't want to annoy him, but hey, if it's worth a shot, it's worth a shot.
I mean, I'm starting to think that way too. It used to be you didn't want to annoy him with your songs, but like you got to.
Yeah, at this point, fuck it. I mean,
right there on the top, you mean?
Yeah, this pictures was taken at the same time. One right-handed camera, left-handed camera, clicked at the same time.
Jesus.
One's infrared and one's just regular digital.
Did you ever go to Quaker Church?
Yep.
Anything there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been in a lot of places, seen a lot of stuff.
So my dad is
can't get in there now though.
They
gated it off.
I get freaked out just driving by it. My dad is like a very not bullshitter. He doesn't bullshit like about it. He doesn't care to, doesn't need to, doesn't never had to. Kind of a straight shooter. He claims, and he's never.
Is this about a dog?
No, this is about a pterodactyl. He saw a pterodactyl we have a cabin in Elliottsville up on the mountain. Before I was born, he was driving out of there and said that the neighbor was shooting at it. It was flying right above the road, and he saw it with his own two eyes. And then I watched like on Monster Hunters years later, like people around here have seen pterodactyls for years. Like
that's fucking wild.
Real
dude.
fucking pterodactyl. My dad said he never saw anything like it. He's not a bullshitter. He's a drinker.
Yeah,
I've been drunk, but like he also has a head injury. But like he said, the neighbor was shooting at it. The neighbor will vouch for him, and it was a fucking dactyl. But my dad's not the kind of guy like he doesn't like attention, so he doesn't bullshit for attention. He also got in a car wreck one time that like they pronounced him dead, and he doesn't even like to talk about that because I was fascinated about that. He said like he won't talk about it. It's really strange. He has a scar. He looks like a mailbox post went through his head right here and like killed him. And I just you talk to him like he's your dad, right? He doesn't want to talk about it. Like so that's how you know he doesn't like want the attention from it.
Right.
Yeah.
But even like the death thing, he's like, I don't know what it was, Donald. Whatever it was good. So that's all he said, and that was it. But he swears he saw a pterodactyl in like '89 in Elliottsville.
Nice.
And then I saw years later on Monster Hunters, like people see them all the time.
I never saw one.
I've never seen one either.
They're around
A
apparently.
pterodactyl. Oh, wow.
Like they just never died off. They're just flying around.
I've seen Barney before on TV, the dinosaur.
That's a touchy subject for me because
Yeah.
I've made fun of that son of a bitch my whole life.
Oh, Barney.
But you never saw like chupacabra or any shit like that. Like that's not your expertise.
No.
Randy has seen Black Panthers about.
Listen, funny you should bring that up because I just played a wedding with Chelsea Rittenauer at the Red Silo up by Seven Springs the other day, and I was going up
Oh, if you're going to see one, that's where they're going to be at.
Well, I was going up. You seen one there too, huh? Or know people that have? I got to tell you a story. Wait, time out.
Because I know people. Go ahead,
my
continue.
friend Cooper, my best friend in the world. I haven't talked to him in a year, but he was my best friend a long time. I don't know why we don't talk. But he is a bullshitter.
Yeah.
And he was living in Normalville. And what's that called? That's 7-Eleven goes up to Normalville.
Yeah.
There's that cemetery up towards the top.
Yeah.
Where they're like by that post office.
Mm-hmm.
He was coming home from work at 12:30 at night, and he saw one, a Black Panther run across the road. He swears. And he's a bullshitter, but I could usually tell when he's not bullshitting. And then now you just say that's funny. Had other people seen him?
That's the cemetery that I got that EVP in with bare knuckles.
Oh, okay, I got you. So many people have that I trust that I know aren't bullshitters have shown me pictures on their trail cameras and shit like that of panthers and that variety.
I've seen a lot of mountain lions, but like this was he said it was a black panther. Jet
black.
Well,
when you think about it, it's
all the same.
Randy, when you and I discussed it before, I thought it might be a melanistic jaguar, but it could just a melanistic mountain lion would be.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, so it'd just be a black mountain lion, so a black panther.
Right.
Yeah.
I have no doubt those are around, probably more than we think. In those, I mean, it's big.
Yeah. They used to. I mean, they're not considered to be active here, but I know they use the Appalachians as a travel corridor. They have to, so they're going up and down. I don't know if it's all the time, but they're going up and down here.
Do you buy the conspiracy that they've turned some loose, like just to insurance companies? My friend Cooper, who's a bullshitter, was coon hunting one night. This has nothing to do with mountain lions or panthers, but a horse trailer pulled up like down where he could see from where he was coon hunting in the middle of the night, and all he heard from the horse trailer was yip, 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 and they opened the door and fucking coyotes come flying out. So there's no doubt in my mind they're turning them loose. But I've heard that the mountain lion situation might be a conspiracy thing too, like kind of the same thing, like they're trucking them in.
Well, you can't have the public knowing that they put mountain lions out because if it kills one of your kids
or your or even your dog, but like Cooper is a bullshitter, but I've heard other people say that about the coyote situation, and his story seems pretty legit, like because horse trailer backing up and hearing yip yip yip. He didn't know what the fuck it was either. And he turns them loose and then you see them fucking dart out like bats out of hell. This was from a considerable distance. He said, like I think he was on a power line somewhere. You could see.
Yeah, but you know coyotes when you hear them, especially if you hear yip 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 coming out of a trailer.
Well, 12 years ago, roughly, I don't know exactly how many years ago, but the coyote population just exploded.
Right, I remember
overnight.
Well, I never saw one until.
Well, the weird thing about it is they're like, oh yes, it's because the wolves have been extirpated. The wolves have been extirpated in this area for a very, very long time. And then suddenly the coyote population explodes for no reason. Now, granted,
from none 1 year to thousands the next.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And that was the thing. Like back when we were little, if you saw one, like it'd be like cool to know somebody that saw one.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember,
I still never see the fucking things. They don't live in Ligonier.
Really?
Oh, they're there.
Oh, they're there, but not up north.
I remember one time, like I posted a picture.
I mean, they are there. Well, actually, speaking of my buddy Josh Roberts, who I gave the shout out to, the property that I hunted for years, he was working or caretaking on the adjacent property right next to it, and he shot some fucking magnum-sized coyote up there. So yeah, they are up there.
Well, I'll tell you, there's two things I can tell you about that, like the magnum size and stuff. Anyway, my 2011, my night of my senior prom, one ran across the road in front of me in Uniontown.
Yeah.
And that, like, I was driving my Ford Ranger truck. That was probably the first one I ever saw. And then I remember, you might not remember this, but I have like a memory like this. I posted a picture of like my rifle sitting on a rock, like the first day of rifle season, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
You commented on it. You said you're like overrun with squirrels and shit.
Yeah, I remember.
I replied to your comment because I literally maybe an hour before that.
I remember this.
Had two walk up on me, and like my adrenaline was pumping. Like I said, I'm just gonna shoot these sons of bitches and get it over with. I don't care if I get a deer or not. Like go back to I don't give a shit if I get anything. Like this is crazy. This is kind of paranormal-ish too. Because how not like I'm out there with all kinds of scent blocker on me because I'm fucking smoking and not caring. These sons of bitches walk right up on me, two of them at a time, and it took me a minute to register. I'm like, those are fucking coyotes. So I picked my rifle up and went to shoot them. I didn't hear running. I didn't hear fucking anything. Just vanished.
Just disappear.
There was leaves all over the place in woods. I didn't hear like any noise. It was the craziest thing. All of a sudden they were just gone. So I think those are the only. Those two plus the one that ran in front of me that I've seen. I saw another one in Uniontown, like suburban Uniontown, maybe 3 years ago too, just driving. And then,
what was it driving?
One of those little tyke, what are those little red and yellow cars?
Little tykes.
Little tykes.
Yeah. Okay.
In one of those. No, the size thing. Someone told me this a while back. Like there's this new thing called a coy wolf, and they're breeding.
Yes.
In like Wisconsin. and they're moving this way. I'd heard this before, and I'm telling you, I was coming from Charleston, West Virginia by myself one night after a gig on the interstate, completely sober, and I saw right in the middle of the interstate, like in the median, there wasn't no coyote. It was I don't like people who exaggerate. This is going back to my dad. Maybe I'm the same way. I don't like to exaggerate stories. I try not to as best I can. Son of a bitch was fucking big. Like, I'm not trying to like tell an old wives' tale here, but this thing was it had wolf in it. Yeah. It was huge, and it was white like Balto.
But,
it was,
well, I don't know if you've looked at any of the statistics, Donnie, but I've read some of when they get these coyotes, and a lot of them they do genetic testing, and there's no such thing as a pure coyote anymore. They all have dog in them, and they all have wolf in them.
I'd imagine that's the case. Well, they the coy wolf, they're like half coyote.
My buddy Dave shot one that was 54 pounds.
Oh God,
Magnum.
Yeah, big.
That's insane. What at another point I was going to make there.
And so you guys want some water? I'm going to get one.
I'm good actually.
I'm
Good. I
Okay.
have to piss right away. Bobcats. Seen a lot of bobcats in your life? I've only seen one.
I think I maybe seen one or two.
I think I saw one.
Tracks. I always see tracks.
I always see tracks. I saw one at Mount Davis. Jumped in front of my truck one time. That was it. 'Cause Mount Davis is a good place to see shit.
I see more bears than anything.
I've seen more people. But that was the thing too. Back when I was younger in the '90s, seeing a bear was like front page news.
Yeah.
That's kind of normal.
Yeah.
'Cause I've stumbled upon several of them over the years, and I had one run through my front yard 3 years ago. I was on the couch watching SmackDown on a Tuesday night. My basset hound was in the front yard, and she started chasing something like yip 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 yip, and it was a bear. And my neighbor, who's gay, I went out on the porch in my underwear, and he's like, "It's a bear! It's a bear!" And the thing was standing there looking at me, ran from the woods. But it's like a normal thing to see a bear now.
Donnie.
That's what he said. He said, "It's a bear! It's a bear!" And
My neighbor,
yeah,
he's
man, I
gay.
know. I mean, he's gay neighbor. Yeah. Shout out to my neighbor. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Let's say I very rarely. Let's see. Have I actually? I don't think No, I have seen a coyote. Once or twice, I've seen a coyote, not in a hunting circumstance, just driving somewhere. Like I think I actually saw one here in Mount Pleasant.
I believe it.
Yeah, going over by the winery.
I hear him here all the time at night.
I say every time I've been hunting them, I've heard him. Me and AJ go. You know, AJ lives over there by Champion, and we drive halfway up the mountain. He's got a couple good spots up there, and one night we spent 3 hours talking to the son of a bitches, but we couldn't get him to come out.
Yeah, they're smart.
They're horribly smart.
It's kind of scary to hear them too, because I know, like, even where I live, I'll never forget. Probably February of 2014, I come back from a gig at Rinky Dinks, and before I got in the SUV business, I had a pickup truck, so my amp had to come in the house, despite all weather. Like if it was snowing, the amp was coming in the house because I ain't leaving it in the bed of the truck.
Yeah.
So I was out there, and it was like 2 a.m, and I've never seen them at my house, but you could hear them. They were very, very close, and it's kind of eerie.
They're right over. They live right there in them woods that
Really?
you can see. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I bet.
I've wanted to organize a massive coyote hunt for years. Just
They have them every year. Up,
there is
Elk
that.
County.
Yeah, well, and there's one here locally that heaviest female, you win a bunch of money.
really.
Yeah.
I'd like to organize one just for fun, like at my dad's place up there. Maybe this year might be the time to do it.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a bad call.
February's a good time to hunt them.
Yeah,
Really?
I want to say when we would do that, it's always during the dead of winter because there's always snow. There's always snow no matter what.
Well, I kind of want snow.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
I say, speaking of guitar amps,
I can wear my snow camo.
not to totally derail the subject, but it reminded me I had to after Fort Ligonier days, I had to take back our rental speakers because we rent 8 QSC K8s to fly off the Diamond. Me and Eric fly them with pipe clamps off the Diamond, and it works.
Really?
And so we had 4 from my buddy John, and then 4 that we rented. And Eric asked me to take them back because he had to work Monday, and I'm like, yeah, sure, man, I'll take them back. So I went up there and pianos and stuff. So cool. And then I'm looking around, and they have their stable Fender amps. You can get a Princeton up there for under $1,000, which is nice. They actually I think they had a couple deluxes that were only $1,000 too.
They're the only place around that has those new Mesa Fillmores that I really want to try.
There was a guy testing one there, and then I was hanging around, looking around after I got to play some cool guitars. Man, I got to play a shitload of Martins.
Really?
Got to play
I've never been in that place.
I got to play a 1947 D28.
Damn. It's funny they have that stuff. You see it, they demo it on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, they only have like 3 real vintage acoustics up there that aren't like. Well, they even had these in a case.
Right.
Although I played almost all the Martins they had out there. There was what is it? It's a $4,000 D28 that was really good. It actually kicked me in the chest. But the one that was the only one that was close to that, and if I would have had $1,500, I would have walked out with it. They had a D16 that was fucking awesome. Wished I could have had it. But anyway, before I asked the dude, because I wanted to be nice, be like, hey man, can I play some of
Always
these?
have to.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, can I play some of these guitars? And he was cool as shit. He was an awesome dude. And I was playing bluegrass stuff, and he told me about Billy Strings. It reminded me about Billy Strings and stuff like that. But before that, I was downstairs looking at all the Fender amps, and he's like, hey dude, you need any help looking for anything? I'm like, you guys get any of them Fender Tone Master amps?
Oh.
And he goes, we can't keep them in stock. He goes, as soon as we get them in, they're gone.
Miccarelli said the same thing. They have Miccarellis.
Yep. So
I can't do it. I know you can.
I want to. I want to really bad.
I don't want to tell me about them, actually.
Yeah, I don't want to pay $1,000 for that Twin, man, but I really want to because I'm not afraid of solid state.
I am. It's mental. It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
Really. It's it's like people with erectile dysfunctions. Half of it's in your head. Like.
Yep.
But I just can't do it. Like.
Hey man,
The other half's in the shaft.
Donnie, you heard my freaking rig through a bass amp the other.
Man, I
week.
loved it. I
Yeah.
loved it. I couldn't like. I still just like not for me. I'm hooked on. It's funny because you went up to that store. They have those Mesa Fillmores.
Yeah.
I'm hooked on those right now. They sound good for country.
Yeah.
I watched some demos like guy playing Telecaster, like playing country licks. I'm like, fucking and like.
Oh, Mesas are good amps, man.
I've never really. I like the Lone Star because that's what Kurt Allison from Jason Aldean's band plays, and I like the way he sounds. But like that Fillmore, I'm like, that's probably if I get another amp ever in my life, probably be what it is. Because I'm like, this is what I do. I get fixated on it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far out of my realm. Like,
Oh, also speaking of fixations, so ever since Fender came out with the really nice Acoustasonic, that the Telecaster with that's acoustic with the sound hole
the one
and all
that everybody
shit.
was like, this is finally the right way to do it. Like, because before they sucked.
Yeah. Ran sound for one of those Fortes.
Who played one of those?
I can't remember what the. I actually don't want to. It fucking sucked. That's kind of the reason why I don't want to call it out.
No.
Oh, it sounded fucking horrible. The electric pickup sounds weak, and the acoustic tones are pretty horrible. You heard it, Randy.
Yeah.
It did not sound good.
Carl Nutt sends me all kinds of gear. It's like, Carl?
Oh yeah. Carl sent me like 3 messages today.
He sends 3 or 4 messages a day.
Yeah. Always humor or music shit. Yeah, love Carl. Shout out to Carl.
Yep, love you, Carl. He said he played one of those Acoustasonic Telecasters. And he said it was good, and then he also, I didn't hear this from him. I heard this from Carl Miccarelli.
Mm-hmm.
He was showing me that new solid state Fender Twin, and he's like, "Yeah, Carl, I don't fucking." He's like, "Yeah, but Carl Nutt likes it." I'm like, "Son of a bitch!"
Mm-hmm.
Like, pissed me off that somebody that good liked it.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, it's like, can it beat a D28 with an LR bags in it? And if the answer is no, then I don't give a shit about it.
What do you mean?
Well, that makes an acoustic guitar sounds like an acoustic guitar, and it's like, okay, otherwise we're gonna have an undersaddle pickup. We're gonna get that Fishman quack that we all know.
Yeah,
and it's like
that ain't no good.
If you want to do that, go buy a fucking Godin.
Yeah.
Just buy an A6 Ultra for $600. Warren Ballou just bought one of those when we were practicing a while back. I think it sounds fucking phenomenal.
Need to get him on this podcast.
Yeah, I'd love to have Warren on here.
If you can get him and like some of the other guys like from that generation.
Oh yeah, well as long as I
together.
get if I bring try to bring Herb and McKnight and Warren in here and well actually it would be good because they only ever hated each other whenever they had to play. They loved being friends.
It'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting dynamic.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, think about that.
Yeah.
Not to get you off the gear subject.
Oh yeah, man.
I started thinking about getting some of those guys on these kind of shows.
Oh yeah, man.
I had a concept. I talked to the people at Armstrong Cable about this. Like, get some people like that, and like WWE Network has this show called Table for Three.
Yeah.
And they also have this show called Picture Time. And if you combine like the two concepts, it's like 3 guys, Warren, Herb, Jay, for example.
Yeah.
And then show them pictures from their past.
Yeah.
And just let them talk about it. I think that'd be a hell of a show. You should do that here.
Oh yeah,
actually.
Well, dude, it's like anytime Larry Miller puts up any of those old videos of Abilene.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's so great. Like that video they did of Mountain Music.
I just watched that. The other day.
It's badass.
Jay
Badass.
playing fiddle.
And Jay does it right, man. Well, that's Jay. If Jay does anything, Jay does it right.
That's why I'm not like him in a lot of ways. Like, he was my first teacher.
Oh yeah, you always told me Junior's like your dad and
Jay's like my uncle.
Yep.
Or my grandfather.
yeah.
Jay and I had a falling out. We're not talking right now.
Oh.
But we will.
I haven't talked to Jay in a while though. It's always good whenever I see him. It was in that project that me and Warren were working on. We had Barry. Barry was playing bass.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool. And And now Warren just sold that house because they're moving to someplace smaller now that the kids are out. So now it's on hold again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Tyler's having another kid too.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Tyler, if you're listening. I really want you I want you to open up more about, because I'm not letting it go. I don't know why I keep going back to
What,
this.
the ghosts?
I won't let it go. Open up more. Tell me
tell them the bare knuckle story.
That cemetery up going up towards Seven Springs. I was up there with my ex-girlfriend, and I had a whole bunch of equipment in my hand, and had the recorders going, and I asked her if she had a free hand, and we both heard something. I played it back on the recorder, and I say, "Here, do you have a free hand?" "Yeah, I got bare knuckles."
Nuh-uh.
That's what we heard. I got it on my EVP. You can listen to it anytime.
Can you pull up right now and play in the mic?
I could.
Yeah. Do it.
Give me a minute.
Anyway, that's so freaking crazy.
Yeah, and it's a good story because Randy then turns around and they look, and there's a grave there that has boxing gloves on.
Yeah, his name was Francis something.
Yeah.
And there was boxing gloves on the top corner.
Yeah, he's bare knuckle
Did you ever go
boxer.
out to the Gates of Hell? That's the only place I ever saw anything. The Gates of Hell out by Smithfield.
Yeah, I've been there.
I saw a light walking on that power line. It freaked me out when I was younger. But I was going to tell you, you might know him. You're about the same age. Did you know Chris Connor from Breakneck? They called him Vern.
No.
Well, he was my dad's best friend forever.
Mm-hmm.
He died of cancer in 2007, and it was really sad for me. I was in the 6th or 7th grade, and I remember one night I was thinking about him a month or two after he died, and just in the middle of the night I was crying in my bed sad, and the calendar fell off my wall. It freaked me out. The calendar never fell off my wall. But
I just had this thing.
I thought you might have known him, but he's buried right over here at the
I may. I don't remember half the people I know.
He's about the same. He would have been the same age as you, but he was very popular from over in Breakneck. I thought you guys all knew each other over here. I just assumed that about everybody.
I know a lot of people that I don't remember.
The funny thing is, I didn't know J.D. Ames at the time.
Yeah.
Vern looked and acted and talked exactly like J.D.
Just
Ames.
like J.D.
And J.D.'s from Bear Rocks, which isn't far from Breakneck.
No.
I swear they're either related, long-lost brothers. I told J.D. this a few times.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was Vern's best friend, and he came the night you came up, it was me and J.D., and then you came and sat in.
Yeah. Make sure you hold that up to the mic.
I'm trying to get the right one.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
I know. This is weird, man. I still got to get that plug so I can just plug it directly into the...
Holy shit.
Yeah, you could hear it. Yeah.
That's insane. Maybe I don't want to go with you. I don't know. I don't know how I'd act. I'd probably have to be drinking.
It's cool. I love it.
I got bare knuckles.
I had.
God.
I got.
He sounds like Batman.
Yeah, we have EVPs that says, "Help me." I can't remember them all.
Yeah.
You have to Google them. Bridgeport Paranormal Association.
Would you do you ever I don't know, just for my own amusement, would you go to my grandfather's grave and put one out to see if he says anything to me?
You could.
What if he talked? He'd probably be bullshitting. I ain't scared of him.
It happens.
Just I'll take you out to his grave someday. And I'd like to have a word with him.
Cemeteries are active. I mean,
I suppose. I reckon they are. I'd imagine. I feel weird. I've always had a weird, a fetish maybe about this shit. Like a secret,
a fascination with the paranormal.
I don't have a fetish with. I ain't banging them, but I do have a fascination with the paranormal. But
well, what was that? From American Dad, he goes, "Yes, I have a year past of family land. I have a fetish for family things. I know the word fetish makes it sound sexual, which is good because it is."
I never saw that, but I will say, this is a standard case of me asking, do you know Joe Dalton? Played bass for Steve Smith.
Yeah.
Big Joe. Big Joe is from Ohio and talked a little different than the rest of us one time. And this is true what he said. I do have a problem where if I see a mirror, I have to look in the mirror. Not because I like myself, because we've established.
I do too.
I have to look, and I have a thing with mirrors. One day, a couple of my buddies were standing around, and Joe was there. We were playing a gig somewhere, and I was looking in a mirror. And Joe said to my buddy, he said, "Old Donnie, he's got a fetish with mirrors." And they said a fetish, he's really into looking in mirrors. A fetish. Old Donnie got a fetish with mirrors.
Mere fetish.
I'd go to cemeteries all the time. and just walk through them at night by myself.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. When I stop and visit my grandfather's grave, it seems like the wind's always blowing, and that freaks me out. Like even on like a hot summer day, like the winds, there's a breeze. It's really strange to me. But I would like to. I don't know.
So you got a good story about the wind stopping all at the most opportune time.
Yeah. Wish Mike was here just to watch his reaction.
Yeah. Because Mike's not a believer.
Yeah, my girlfriend at the time, she was working a pendulum. And
Pendulum?
Pendulum. It swings this way for yes or in a circle for no.
Oh, like a Ouija board type situation?
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. And we was up at a cemetery up in Krieger, me and her and Mike, and it was real windy. The grass was 3 foot high. I'm videoing it. The wind's blowing the grass over. She's working a pendulum. It's swinging around. Mike says, that's just the wind. Well, she says, can you stop this to prove that it's not the wind? It's like somebody grabbed it. It stopped dead. Mike's freaking arms got all goosebumpy. And it was cool.
Oh.
Wild shit, man.
That's another thing. Another one I forgot to tell you. She was working a pendulum one night, and whatever it was, we agitated it.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably me, of course. But the pendulum started bouncing, which is totally impossible.
Yeah.
It's like a chain on a string or a chain on a swivel with a little diamond or
whatever kind of weight it is.
Yeah. Or something. And it can't bounce.
Right.
It was bouncing.
Ooh, I'm getting creeped out.
That's weird shit.
It's almost Halloween.
I love it.
Say, because there was that. I know we told that story on the first podcast. I'm trying to think of any stories that you've told me before, Randy, that we didn't already feature. Because I really wanted Donnie to hear that one. Because we covered. Do you have any other stuff like? I'm thinking about Gettysburg stories. Because we covered the first time we talked about what I wanted to hold your daughter's hand.
Yeah.
Did anything else goofy happen?
What I wanted.
In
Why
Gettysburg?
do I want to hold your daughter's hand?
He wanted to kiss her on the cheek.
Yeah.
Did he say that? Like,
Well, no. Okay. A little bit.
That same reminds me of Beavis and Butthead. Can I have your daughter's hand?
Me and my ex-girlfriend was behind the school there right in Gettysburg, and the woods are supposed to be haunted down there. Well, my daughter and her son was standing way back because they was scared. Well, the light was behind us. You see my fingers here. Our shadows was being cast like this. She's working the dowel rods, and it takes 15, 20 minutes to figure out. She was pretty good at it. We figured it was a 15-year-old Confederate boy from Maryland who liked my daughter. And I said, can you take the dowel rods and point them to my daughter? And they spun around, and I spun around with them and watched. And they pointed right to her. So I called them down. They're standing there. There was 4 of us. There was 5 shadows.
nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit.
And we figured out the little soldier liked my daughter. So I said, I'll give you permission to kiss her cheek. And waited for a minute. Then I got to thinking, they're too much of a gentleman, even a young kid. He wouldn't do that. I said, Sid, hold your hand out. I said, you can kiss my daughter's hand. And her hand looked like ice cold. She's like, Dad, and she felt it right here. I put my hand over it and was like sticking it in an ice chest. And then just a few seconds later, see the shadow?
Yeah.
That's what it did. It was gone.
Oh.
It was cool. Real cool.
Crazy times at Gettysburg High.
Yeah. Shout out to Spooky.
I'm not supposed to go there.
Gettysburg Paranormal Association.
Hell, that 15-year-old might have been me. I
Might
was
have been.
killed there. You see the birthmarks? I was shot and killed there.
Could have been you.
Wonder if you can get in touch with me from like my past life. I want to know what I did.
Possibly.
Dead
Possibly.
me. Might have been me. I might have been 15 years old when I died. I was 15 years old when I started this music business.
What
Shit.
have you done with your life, Donnie?
Gettysburg's
I
a cool
died for
place.
this country.
I love it there. That's
I-
probably the only place, if I could ever move away from here, I could live at Gettysburg.
Well, I was born in Manassas, right, kind of by the Battle of Bull Run there. I used to like to go there when I was
Well,
little.
hell, it was a battle, Manassas.
Well, you
according to
survived
what-
that battle.
Mhm.
Yeah, apparently, but like that was always weird when going back to the fortune teller thing too. She told me like Gettysburg will freak me out. My mom told me like when I was little, and I can remember like I just wanted to go there every night. My grandmother lived in Manassas. All I wanted to do was go to the battlefield and look for deer. Like that's all I cared to do. So maybe I just had like I don't know. There's probably some spiritual shit going on in my.
Or you're just weird.
Yeah, I'm just fucked up too.
Yeah.
Overthinking it.
It's kind of crazy how all those battles in Virginia are all within like 5 miles of each other.
Yeah, that whole region of the country is a strange region.
Yeah. Well, especially now because it's not like even the South anymore.
No, it's really
Cosmopolitan.
Gentrified. That's
yeah,
what I was
gentrified.
Gentrified. But yeah, it's still kind of eerie, like historically. I've always been in history and stuff.
Yeah,
but
well, hell, the first time we discussed when we got on the topic of Gettysburg, I've been studying the Civil War like a crazy son of a bitch. So we spent as much of a half an hour just talking about the battle itself and stuff like that. So maybe we should do a history-based podcast as well, Donnie, depending on what you want to talk about.
I would probably. I used to love history. I was going to be a history teacher at one point in my life, but I'm going to hold you to that. We're going to go out and visit my grandfather's grave just to see if he has anything to say.
I got all the equipment. You might not like me when I'm done.
Wonder what he'd say. Why wouldn't I like you when you're done?
You might be scared.
Well, I'm definitely gonna be scared. I'm scared right fucking now. I get scared, but I don't know. That's a fetish of mine, I guess. I like to be scared.
A fetish.
I have a fetish.
I was a little
Like some girls like to be choked and spanked. I like to get scared.
I was a little nervous at first when we first started doing it. Now, I can't get enough of it. Where somebody would be running and screaming, I'm like, do it again, do it again.
Well, they never fucking touched you or anything, did they?
Oh yeah.
Have they?
Oh yeah.
They never hurt?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Randy.
Say, well, what, Randy? There's that one story in Gettysburg where you felt like you got shot.
I got shot in the leg. It felt like put me on the ground.
For fuck's sake.
Bleep. There's a bleep there.
We've been cussing this whole time.
Oh.
Clint told me I could.
I don't give a shit.
We had a beeper. No, people's been touched. I know somebody that was bit on the finger at the Quaker Church. We actually heard when we was walking back to the car.
Hounds of hell. They said there's dogs there.
Well, when we was walking, we could hear it in the grass. I couldn't
hear what, like walking too,
like a dog walking in the grass. You know how you can hear dogs in the grass. And she said, "Ow, something bit me." We got in the car with the dome light on, and you could see the teeth marks appearing.
What the hell?
Yeah, you go looking for it, you just might find it.
Well, the Quaker Church always has intrigued me.
My buddy was sitting in there one night. I left him in there in the dark.
In the church?
In the church. And he's just sitting there, and he had a rock thrown at him, hit him right in the stomach.
I've never been. The only one I ever went to was the Gates of Hell, but I go past the Quaker Church quite often. I get freaked out just because I read the stories where, people, their cars have been chased from, those dogs, black dogs with red eyes.
Yeah.
Freaks me the fuck out.
The 4 or 5 witches, they said sisters, they thought they was witches, and they burned them. They're buried there.
Right. Burn the witches.
Don't burn the witches.
How much of that shit... Here's one. We're all outdoorsmen here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history just in this region. How many dead bodies and shit do you think there are? It's right here.
I got a cool story of me and Mike up in Cass Paris.
Okay.
Well, all right, before you say anything, Herb Nicholson, you know Herb?
Yeah.
He used to talk about Cass Paris all the time. I still don't know where that is. He talks, there's this mythical land called Cass Paris where the rattlesnakes are the size of deer. And so anyway.
That deer there was the one I killed, last one I killed there.
I heard the rattlesnakes were the size of fucking sharks. And everybody talks about this magical Cass Paris place.
We was up there one day.
I don't even know where it's at either, Donnie.
I have no idea where it is.
How do you spell it? Just Casparas?
Where is it, Randy?
Connellsville, Dunbar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an area.
Yeah.
A lot of legends in Dunbar.
Yeah. Well, we was walking out across this mountain, and we was we was together, but we was in different, a couple hundred yards apart, and everything just got eerie. And Mike could hear something. It was behind him. He heard something. He'd spun around. It was behind him again, like he couldn't catch it. And he was goosebumps and just a real eerie feeling. And then when I walked up to him, it was like walking into another, the whole atmosphere was changed. Like you was being watched, and then it finally went away. But it really freaked Mike out. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Actually, for a few minutes there, I was getting kind of you
just keep walking through the woods.
Keep looking over your shoulder,
because I think about that all the time. Especially where I live, at the bottom I live right at the base of the mountain is Jamontville. Right at the last house is me up before you start walking up the mountain. There probably people got shot and killed right there.
Yeah, well, pilgrims and Indians and stuff, just because everybody thinks Civil War is where only ghosts are.
No, there's everything.
Pilgrims, Indians, it could be anybody.
They were all right here.
Yeah.
At Cass Paris.
I'm looking at the road, and it's the only road out of South Connellsville, and it goes and snakes the whole way up the mountain. And
it's a rough road, too.
Yeah, and then it's a dead end way up there at the top.
You can come out at the top. There's a gate there off 7-Eleven.
There's some like legendary stories like Dunbar Mountain, like Bigfoot and like shit people have seen, ghosts and like
Betty Knox.
That's one.
That's a cool story. I hunt there.
Have you?
Yeah.
Like ghost hunt?
No.
Like regular hunt?
Bear hunt.
Oh, bear hunt. Hog Rocks.
Hog
Yeah,
Rocks.
it's eerie up there at Hog Rocks. I was just up there recently. It's eerie.
I'm sure there was a tribe of Indians that lived there, and pilgrims and
Dunbar's an
settlers
eerie,
and
strange
stuff.
place to start with. Strange people in Dunbar.
Yeah. I mean, people think a ghost has to be my grandpap or has to be my great uncle. It could be Christopher Columbus.
Well, I hope
You don't know.
I hope it is my grandpapa or my great uncle. I just assume, like, I don't think I'd be afraid of those ghosts as much as I would Christopher Columbus's ghost. I don't know what the fuck he wants from me. But
I don't know.
if I saw my pap, like, I'd be. I told him before he died, don't fucking haunt me, because I probably would be scared. But I don't know if I'd be that scared.
It's hard to tell.
I'll tell you, it's scary. My grandmother got sick like 5 years ago, and she had like urinary tract infections, and that makes old people like lose their shit. She was up for 3 days straight, and I missed out on a lot. I'm a little bit resentful over this, but I missed out on probably the prime of what should have been the prime of my career, because I babysat her from 5 o'clock at night when my dad went to work till he got home at like 2 in the morning every night for like 2 years, from like 14 to 16, and there was a time when she'd get those urinary tract infections where she'd be up for 3 days straight talking. Like she was talking on the phone. And you'd go in and say, who are you talking to? She'd say like a dead friend of hers. And I'd be like, well, they're dead. No, they're not. They're right there. Freaked me out.
Yeah.
It was me and her alone in the house. You know what I mean? Like freaked me out a lot. Like that was eerie. I forgot about that.
Well, that's another thing. Ray and I talked about it before. Like, I use the example of one of my girlfriends whenever we'd stay over at my house. Like, she'd see people in my fucking house. And I don't know if I'm spiritually dead, but I've never been able to see anything like that. And maybe you're the same way.
I've never, because I dated a girl like that too. She said she'd see, like driving down the road, she'd see people standing along the road and shit.
Yeah.
I know people can do that.
I just never could, or never.
I sense things. I can sense a lot.
I think maybe I used to when I was younger. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much now. I don't know. It's strange being. I don't know. I can get in my own head pretty easily about stuff like that. Like even hunting before daylight. Like everything, it'd be a chipmunk, but you're like, oh, ghost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a chipmunk.
I can sense stuff. I always could.
I used to squirrel hunt right up behind the cross, and that's a new place. That's just because you know for sure there was death and despair there. Like, I would just be up there squirrel hunting like a regular dude, like right after school, just like go up there. There's a topic like. Everybody's talking about the guns and stuff. I'm like, it wasn't like people talk about the 70s. Like, we all had rifles in our trucks. I'm like, well, not that long ago. I was 2011 when I graduated, and I'd leave school with my 12 gauge in the truck and go squirrel hunting. Like, it wasn't like it was the 70s. It was just like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was that person. I had the gun in the truck. We all did.
Also Vietnam, man.
It's also Vietnam. This ain't exactly.
Yeah. Well, actually, I can tell you, even Ligonier, I probably wouldn't have got, like, if anybody would have reported me for having, like, shotgun in the truck, principal probably would have been like, okay, dude, we got to call your parents so they can come get this, but I probably wouldn't get in trouble or anything like that.
It's funny how times have changed so fast, because I remember the last period of the day, every day, my senior year, I think 9th period was the last period, was jazz band.
Yeah.
And I'd intentionally leave that red Telecaster out in the truck so I can go out and smoke a cig. And the band director, who's a very liberal person, like I follow him on Facebook now, he's all about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
In 2011, he pulled me aside one day, he's like, I'm letting you go out there to get your guitar and not smoke a cigarette. And then nothing happened.
Yeah.
I also was hammered drunk in his class one time. I took AP Music Theory. There was me, Andrew that you met a couple weeks ago, and one other dude. 3 people in the whole class. And I was shit-faced. I know he knew. Like, I was hammered. Like, I drank all my mom's Coors Light before school. And sitting there, and I knew I was sitting there like this. And he didn't say anything to me. If that happened now, I'd be on Fox. Like, hammered drunk in school, smoking cigarettes.
Could even be on ZNN.
Yeah, it could be on CNN.
The Donnie Barney story.
But like that, literally, like, it wasn't that
Film
long.
at 11.
It wasn't that long ago. I had guns, drinking beer before school, and smoking on before 9th period every day. It wasn't all that long ago. Now I can't imagine. I feel like I play like sometimes you get in those situations where you play like schools and stuff. Here's a weird one for you. I played Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, whatever their high school is called last year.
Yeah,
and that's the next town over is Pottsville, where they make Yingling. They actually provided us Yingling for and like our catering. It was like a Subway hoagie tray and Yingling in a high school. So I drank beer in a high school.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, very weird. Like they're like probably, I'd say that's like the Vietnam of the East of the state. Like, they didn't give a shit. Like, kids probably grow up dringing Yingling out of a bottle there.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
It's like, Yingling's the shit there. Like, Dick Knoebel is best friends with
I met him.
Dick Yingling. Who? Dick Yingling or Dick Knoebel?
Knoebel.
Well, Dick Yingling, here's a missed opportunity. The night that, remember I told you earlier, Lisa from South Dakota came out?
Yeah.
We went to a bar called Tiff's in Smokin, right up the road from Knoebels, and got hammered. The next day, Dick Knoebel was coming to pick up the band and take us to the Yingling place to meet Dick Yingling. And I was like gung ho, like, hell yeah, I'm going to go meet Dick Yingling. My dad's been drinking his beer for years. Slept in, missed the whole fucking tour.
Aww.
Everybody in the band went but me, because I went out and got drunk the night before, and I slept in that. Did you stay in that house there whenever you played there?
No, we never did the residency thing.
Oh,
we would just go and do like 3 shows in a day and then
leave.
and then
See,
scoot.
we'd live in that house for like it was like the real world. Like, we'd all live in the same house.
Yeah.
But yep, I slept in and missed out on the Yingling tour. But they're like best friends, Dick Yingling and Dick Knoebel. But anyway, we had just last year, 2018, beer in a school.
And Subway hoagies.
And Subway hoagies. And they had something else too.
That's not a bad day.
I think it was pizza, Subway hoagies, and Yingling beer was the catering.
Can't
And
go
I was the
wrong
only
with
one in the
pizza.
band, I was the only one in the band who openly drank. So,
Donnie, I just want to tell you, we did a gig, and it was the coolest green room ever. Well, not even, it wasn't a specific green room, but they took such good care of us. We played a private event for one of the local unions.
okay.
And it was up Chestnut Ridge Golf Course in Blairsville.
Okay.
And as a haul the shit on the second floor, it was over Fort Day, so I hired a sound company. So all I had to do was walk in with my amp and my guitar. But I'd get up there, and they're all there in their suits and ties and everything. And sound guys had everything set up, and we had an opener and all this cool shit. And it wasn't even an opener. They do one set, we do one set, and then repeat, and that was the end of the night. But one of my sound techs comes up and goes, "Clint, come on, come back with me." So we walk back in this green room, and it's just another one of their big bars in there, but it's just for us. And all the beer you want, all the any hard liquor you want, and you could have your choice of as much as you want of either chicken or surf and turf, lobster and steak.
I'd still be there.
Yeah, those are the great days at the job. Like,
and plus there was pasta and shit too as appetizers and awesome cake for dessert and all this stuff. It was literally everything you wanted, and the pay was fantastic too.
That's something else the general public doesn't know about our job. We bitch a lot about how hard it is, and we don't get catering all the time.
No,
but sometimes when we do, like those, especially it depends on who I'm working with. Like when I was with Rick K, I got catering pretty much every day.
Yeah,
but like in some capacity, like even like it's always like a fun surprise to see what it's going to be.
Yeah,
and I've learned, like, I've played the Tyler County Fair in West Virginia twice now with 2 different artists, and both times it's been like the really good meatloaf, and the last time it was boneless like ribs.
Yeah,
like it's really good. Like I look forward to, like, I know that, like, mark that spot, like Tyler County Fair catering's gonna be awesome because like old ladies making it for you. But like sometimes you get chips and a freaking pop or nothing.
Yeah,
a lot of times you get nothing, but it's always like a fun nugget of.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get.
What are you gonna? Sometimes you get steak and lobster. I've never had steak and lobster. I think one time I had lobster bisque, and all the lobster bisque I could have.
Yeah,
but like, it's always a fun little thing, fun little game. Like if you're going somewhere you suspect you might get catering, it's always fun to see what it is.
Yeah.
What's the best catering you ever had?
No, that was it. That was it. I'm actually thinking of the second best one because I'm pulling it up on the map trying to remember where the hell the damn gig was, because it was a county fair in West Virginia in the Panhandle, and as in the Wheeling Panhandle.
Okay, so maybe it might have been the same one, Tyler County.
It might have been.
That's kind of close to the Panhandle.
I want to say it was like New Martinsburg or New Martinsville.
Yeah, they have like Town and Country Days. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was. They have that, and it was
way out in the country.
Yeah, it was actually close to the river. Then you turned off and went a little bit. Then it was like you're in this valley where you know, surrounded by mountains, and just a little big enough spot where they could have us. But they had shitload of animals and all this different stuff. It was a pretty big fair.
It was Town and Country Days. I'm pretty sure of what you're talking about.
Yeah, it might have been. And they say they had a stage and they had a line array, and it was like there were 2 separate dressing rooms backstage, 2 green rooms, like, you know, the indoor outdoor kind of stage thing. Just 2 small rooms that were probably if you look at the tree that's in here, if you draw it to that wall and that wall, this was the size of one of the green rooms. But they had really good catering. There was like, I don't think it was steak. It was just some kind of beef and It was good stuff. And
those county fair people, it's usually like the older women, like on the board or their moms or something that make it. It's usually really good.
They know how to cook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing really compares. Like, not that I get to do the big stuff. I'll be working Blame My Roots this year. I ate good.
Yeah.
Because they had breakfast out. Like,
oh yeah, that's awesome.
Like the crew and stuff, and like just eggs and bacon and stuff. And then lunch was always something really good, like tacos. I'll tell you, you've opened for a lot of artists and stuff, so you usually end up just eating whatever they don't eat. Yeah. Like, I can tell you, like, Aaron Tippin's catering sucked, like, because he's like a health person.
Yeah.
So it was like those bird's eye steamed veggies and some like really dry beef. Sucked. Like, I don't care.
Dude, that guy's so lean.
Very lean.
Yeah.
But like his catering sucked. But Ronnie Millsap, who isn't lean, I opened for him at the Palace.
Ronnie Millsap's so fucking awesome, man.
His catering was chicken and biscuits, mashed potatoes, and cheeseburgers.
Awesome.
It was the fucking best.
America.
It was like the best fucking catering of all time. Like, the one time I played the Palace Theater was with Gary Pratt. You know Gary?
Yeah.
It was me and the McKnight brothers and Gary opening for Millsap. And I was in my glory. I'm like, all the cheeseburgers I could possibly want and chicken and biscuits.
That'd be great.
Shout out to Gary's florist business.
Le Jardin.
Yes.
Le Jardin. I don't know how you say it. But
yes.
I like Gary a lot.
I like him too. He's a really nice guy, man.
Gary holds the record. I don't know if you noticed this, for the most money I've ever made in the shortest amount of time. Gary. I don't want to divulge what it was, but it was for a 22-minute show. The whole show is on YouTube. I timed it because you just look at the timestamp on YouTube.
Yeah.
From start to finish, it was 22 minutes on stage open for Millsap, and I could not believe the astronomical amount of money I got. So thanks, Gary. And as I've seen Gary,
that's way better than the time I played the Palace
with Tim. Yeah.
Yep.
He still has a picture of you guys all from a newspaper clipping on his bedroom door.
Yeah. That was and not to talk shit on Tim, but what he said was hilarious because they're like, third place is such and such. Well, obviously he was wanting to get first place, and they go second place Tim Litfin band, and Tim goes, well, that sucks.
That's him. That sounds like him.
It was really funny. I laughed my ass off.
He probably paid you out of his pocket that day, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and I appreciate it because it's a battle of bands thing. Nobody gets paid, so the fact he gave me anything for it.
I'm playing guitar for him for a charity thing. For his Toys for Tots, he pays out of pocket.
Yeah,
so that's the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's good that he cares enough to take care of his guys.
Yeah. But no, I've run into Gary several times, mostly at the Palace. Every time I go to a show there, Gary's there. And, hey, Gary, got any more gigs? Like, I'm like a crackhead looking for Gary Pratt.
Hey, man, you got any more, got more shows?
Game where there's opening gigs for these people, Gary. Like, yeah, I see him. I feel bad, but, like, it's a lot of money for a short amount of time. Plus, the catering, like, depending on who the headliner is, like, catering's pretty good.
Yeah, kind of worth it, man.
Kind of worth it.
Kind of worth it.
That makes a big difference. Like, hospitality is a big thing for me, especially at county fairs. I don't give a shit. Like, bars aren't hospitable at all. They don't even give a shit you're there. Like, I don't care to ever play another bar again, but I just know I have to. But, like, the fair circuit and the casino circuit, they take care of you too. Like with Rick last year, I mean, I played 14 days total.
You gained some weight, didn't you, buddy?
I gained a lot of weight last year, actually.
I'm a very big fan of food.
Me too. Like that's like a selling point for me. But like 14 days combined at Grand Casino in Hinckley, Minnesota, and it was 7 in the spring and 7 in the winter. And they give you, I think, 2 meals a day, 2 vouchers for 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
And then like, your room and stuff. I literally ate every morning for breakfast. I'd go over there by myself because no one was friends in that band. I'd have walleye because you can't get walleye around here.
Whoa,
it's hard to get walleye around here, but in Minnesota you can get it everywhere in the world. And it was like, because that's probably my favorite like fish to eat is probably walleye. I don't know. There's a place in Uniontown that's really good catfish, but I don't know where they're getting it from. So that's because where could they possibly be getting that good catfish? It has to be trucked in. Anyway. Walleye and eggs and hash browns every morning for breakfast. I never paid for it once. And for 14 days total last year, I ate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a big selling point for me. I tell people all the time, like, people don't understand this. I was just talking to that Amy Jane that I'm going to be playing with next year. She worked the Grand Casino in her touring outfit last year too, and she doesn't see the attraction. But like, if I was to name my favorite venues to play, Rinky Dinks is going to be number one.
Yeah,
always, just because of the character.
I love playing Rinky Dinks.
I love the Gold Rush where you played with us. I think that place has a lot of character.
Yeah, I do too.
But then I always put the Grand Casino up there, and really and it's not because it's anything special. It's just because like it felt like home when you're there for 7 days straight, like eating their walleye, not have to pay. Like it just kind of felt like that's like
you're comfortable.
Top 3, like you feel like that's your home.
Yeah.
So I like drinking dinks. Was I really drunk that night?
I don't think you were too drunk. Right? Wait, yeah, you kind of were.
Yeah, because Ian said that.
No. You weren't that bad because
Heather was drunk.
No, CB was horrible.
Oh yeah,
that was it. Because we're driving home and our buddy CB he sounds dude. he's sitting there beside me, and rolls down the window, and CB's like out. He's drunk, blackout kind of style, but still awake, and he's just sitting there going. And like that's not snoring. It was like I can only describe it as horse noises.
Yeah, drunks will do that.
Yeah, he was. He was
like his soul was trying to leave his body.
That's
but
kind of a haul for you guys too, like from Rinky Dinks to here.
Yeah,
it's a long drunk ride.
Well, and that was
I've driven it drunk from there.
Well, that and also, unfortunately, that night it wasn't the guy's fault. Our sound tech's wife was in the hospital that night with a fever, and things kept getting worse. And I told him, I went back, saw it was an X32, and I'm like, dude, if you got a scoot, I can run the show. And he got a sound check. And he goes, guys, I think I do need to go. So he went, and I ran sound and played Rinky Dinks the whole night.
It sounded great too. Where did I play that night? I was so drunk that I sounded really good.
I can't remember, man. That was like how long ago was that?
That was a while ago.
Like 9 months.
How long have you been to Rinky Dinks? I didn't know you. I knew you were there, but how long has that been?
That was March, right?
Yeah, we
that was
played
last
there.
March.
So we've only done there twice. We opened once
Which
for.
is so strange to me, but the Ralph Club's so exclusive.
Yeah, well, they really like us now. Now it's just trying to get back in and make everything work out.
Right. Best food in the world.
Well, that and I don't blame Skip. Skip doesn't want to drive down there because it's really far for him. So
yeah, I'd imagine.
St. Patrick's Day.
That's a hindrance.
Yeah. So it was St. Patrick's Day when we did our first solo. We did a 3 or 4 hour show, and is that what the owner's name is?
Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph. The dude who looks like John Anderson.
He's actually John Anderson's cousin.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. He's a cool dude.
They're really honest to God related.
Really?
I think he's his first cousin.
That's awesome. Well, that's why I asked us to play John Anderson, which we did.
They're related.
Yeah, but I got to sit there and bullshit with him. He's a really cool guy, and obviously he's a lover of actual country music. And so he goes, I like what you guys got going on. You guys are actually doing real country music. I'm like, dude, that's about all we got. But
his club, so, like who he books is so like he does it the right way. That's how I want the whole world to be. But like it is hard to get in the Ralph Club. Yeah, I will say.
I would love to be in the club full time, but we'll see. Working on it.
There's like a monthly gig there if you can get it. Like
and that'd be awesome
in season. But I have there's a lot of good Rinky. This would be a whole other podcast someday. We'll have to come back and do this again. But like, just Rinky Dink stories. Like I pissed my pants on stage there one time.
What was that? Where you pissed your pants?
I was drinking moonshine. Jackson Gardner's done like he's had like a soiree or whatever the word is. Like he's parlayed into different business endeavors over the course of his life. Like more than I can count. Like one day he's gonna grow a weed farm and like we're gonna monetize this and like he's always asked me to be a part of it. And I just learned don't even invest in anything. But at that time, he was like in the moonshine business. He was like Bo and Luke Duke. He's like, try this. I'll just give it to you. So I drank it before the stage. Like I hit the stage. We only had to do like a 45-minute set. So I'm like, I can handle this. Couldn't handle it. And it was like the last. It was one of those moments. Like it was like we had maybe a minute left of the show altogether. Like and outro guitar solo, and then off the stage and walk over to the side of the building and take a piss. And I'm sitting there, and it was like you can hear your heartbeat, like boom, 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 boom. What do? I got to take a piss. I don't know. What the fuck? And I'm wireless at the time, too. So I'm like, I was going to run off and take a piss. No one's going to know. Didn't make it. I couldn't fucking make it. Like, I pissed. I turned around and pissed right there. And it was just like, it was game over. Took a piss right on the stage.
Oh, I'm proud of you, buddy.
There was no sink there around?
No, you've seen that stage. Oh, yeah, you pissed in the sink. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, the sink's way in the back. That'd have been worse. Because there was actually a crowd there because Rough Creek was playing.
That's who we opened for. We opened for Rough Creek.
There's a built-in crowd there, but like back in that era, we'd do the Jackson set for like 45 minutes, and then Rough Creek come on like 20 minutes later. I'm like, I can make it. I was 20 years old too. I wasn't even 21, and I didn't.
Man, you were a pup, man.
Yeah, I think about that now. I'm 26. I'm about to be 27 in a month. Like, I tell these stories now like they're old war stories, but it doesn't seem like that long ago. Mm-hmm. Like even the Higbee stuff, like it's starting to get more distant, but like. I wish I could remember more about the Higbee days. There was just so much. I wasn't even drinking then. Like another reason, I feel like I was sheltered. Like everybody else could drink but me in the Higbee era. He was really good about that. Like don't fucking even look at alcohol or chicks.
Yeah.
And then I got left to my own devices and went bananas for 5 years.
With alcohol and chicks.
With alcohol and chicks and cigarettes and every drug you could probably take.
Sinks.
Piss in the sinks.
Yep. Pissing your pants.
It's like
piss my pants on stage.
Yeah.
A fetish. I've never puked on stage yet, but I think that's inevitable. Not from drinking, but I've been sick where I shit my pants on stage. Not even drinking. We can end this podcast with on this note. I'll tell you this story. I'll leave you with this story. If you make it to the end of this podcast, it's going to be a fucking 4-hour podcast. I'll leave you with a tale of true determination to make money. Because this is the if you want to be a full-time musician, you have to have this much determination. It all started January of 2018, I suspect. It was January 2018. I was so sick. Like, I'm sick right now, and I'm not feeling it that bad. I think I'm on the tail end of my sickness. I had the flu, and I was like shitting like in my bed, like, and I had to play an acoustic gig with Wyatt that night at Snowshoe Mountain Resort, which from my house is like 3.5, 4 hours away. And I was like, I've never canceled anything. I just refused to. Like, I've double booked and had to fucking do things like that, but like, I refuse to. Like, I tell myself, like, subconsciously, probably for the better, like, if you're gonna make a living doing this, you can't fucking cancel. I've only no-showed one time just because I got a DUI and was in jail. But like, that was Tim, and he doesn't care. Nevertheless, so I always try to be there. Whether I'm the best Donnie I can be when I get there is one thing, but I am there. Like, you know, I always tell people to pay me to show up regardless. Anyway, 4 hours away from home, I was like, I'm going to cancel this. I'm not fucking coming. I'm so fucking sick. Wyatt said, oh, man, I really need you there. I said, motherfucker. So off I go down the road, and I stopped to throw up probably about 6 times between, like, home and there. I get there, and of course I'm the first one there. Wyatt's not there yet, because that's how it always goes. In every band I'm in, I'm always the first one there. I try not to be.
Except for when we play together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I try not. I make a real valid point not to be the first one there, and I usually am 9 times out of 10. Anyway, so I'm there. I go in and just take my acoustic in. It's just an acoustic show. Take my bag in, fucking set it down. I go out and lay in my car with the heat on. It was January at a mountain resort, like a ski resort, so it's cold as fuck. And I farted in the backseat of my car and shit my pants. Like watery shit, like in my tight Dwight Yoakam stretchy jeans. No change of pants in sight. I go in and play it was a 4-hour show, which I don't do.
Oh, God.
I don't do those anymore, by the way.
This is the worst.
I did a 4-hour acoustic set with Wyatt, sick, sober. Just, I couldn't even see straight. I was so fucking sick. Like, the flu was getting to me.
Yeah.
With like a poopy diaper. And then drove 4 hours home.
Oh, man.
So if you want to live the life of us hardworking musicians, you have to be willing to drive 4 hours, to shit your pants, play for 4 hours, and then drive 4 hours home.
And your shitty pants.
Just to collect your $200.
I'll stick to taxidermy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you shit your pants here, no one knows.
No,
There's probably shit on all these people's animals.
there's a few.
Nope, I did it. I shit my pants, and I just didn't care. I was so sick. That's my ultimate tale of endurance. 4 hours to shit, 4 hours show, home, dead. And that was it.
My God, Donnie. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're going to wrap it up. Gentlemen, we just did almost 3 hours.
That's pretty good.
Almost 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours.
We're at 2:58.
Okay, well.
We managed to do it, boys. So this is now the longest one that we've done.
That's good.
It's now the longest one
We
we've
could keep
done.
going. That's the best part.
We're practicing.
Yeah.
I would probably go all night, but I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm hungry too.
No, actually, let's get some fucking pizza.
I like pizza.
And have a good time. All right, well, Randy, thank you, my boy.
Thank you, brother.
For always having my back.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Donnie.
Randy.
Thank you for
Donnie,
coming, man.
my friend, my brother, thank you for being here, buddy.
All
All right, guys, thanks for watching the Smokin' Podcast. God bless you, as always, if you watched all 3 hours of this, and we'll see you next time.